San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego, and happy Tuesday, everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Good to be with all of you again today on a Tuesday, a beautiful Tuesday morning it is. And again, I don't know, it's probably around this time of the year that the office decides to have a bunch of food here all the time. I mean, I'm not complaining, it's great, but they're doing like a barbecue here today. I got to try to get back on track. It's already stressful with coaching football and doing the work thing here on the show, watching Padres baseball. God, that's been kind of stressful last couple of days. Got to get back to eating right, but should have some good food here today, I think. We'll see what we got. Anyway, let's talk about last night's game. Last night's game wasn't one of your nights. Wasn't that great of a night for the Padres last night. A couple of things did not go their way. And the thing is there was still a lot of positives of last night, but the Padres have yet to get a hit with runners in scoring position against the Seattle Mariners. I can't believe it. It's kind of crazy. That was one of the problems. Offensively, the Padres had 10 hits. Offensively, the Padres had 4 home runs. I mean, anytime the Padres have 10 hits or 4 home runs, they're probably going to win those games. I mean, you go through the batting order, aside from Machado, everybody contributed. Everybody got a hit. Everybody got on base. Fernando 1 for 5. Luis Ariz was 2 for 5. He had that double and drove in a run. Ryan O'Hearn was 1 for 4. Bogarts was 1 for 4. Sheets 1 for 3 with a home run. Laureano 1 for 4 with a home run. Jake Cronenworth was 2 for 4. He had a home run. Fernando's one hit was a home run. Freddie Fermin got on base on a walk. He was 0 for 2 but scored a run. Even Will Wagner, who just showed up to the Padres 2 days ago, he got a hit as a pinch hitter for Freddie Fermin. He was 1 for 1 with the run scored. I mean, so offensively, the Padres did a lot of great things. Now, the downside is the Padres didn't get any hits with runners in scoring position. That's going to hurt you in the long run. Here's the other thing about last night's game. Just overall looking at it. Okay? The pitching staff wasn't that great. The starting pitcher didn't give you an opportunity to win a baseball game. And that's what JP Sears needs to do. He doesn't need to dominate. He just needs to give you an opportunity to win a baseball game. And last night, he did not do that. 3 2/3 innings, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 5 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts. He gave up 2 home runs. And despite that, the Padres still had an opportunity to potentially win that game. I mean, Seattle scored 4 runs. San Diego scored 4 runs. It's tied at 4. And then came the 5th inning. And the 5th inning for the Padres was not great defensively, or should I say, from a pitching standpoint, as the Mariners put up 5 runs on David Morgan. Now, David Morgan, still, despite giving up 5 runs, has a 2.87 ERA on the season. He had done fine and really good pretty much all year. He has a blow-up inning last night, and it ultimately cost the Padres 5 earned runs on 2 hits in 1 inning, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. David Morgan didn't have it last night, and the Padres, unfortunately, give up the 5 runs in the 5th, and Seattle never looked back. Padres got 2 more runs back. They made it 9-6, got a run in the 9th inning to make it closer, at least within 3 runs. But overall, just wasn't the Padres' night against Seattle. Cal Raleigh, big dumper, hits another home run, his 50th of the season last night. First inning off Sears, and that was kind of the foreshadowing of what could potentially be a catastrophic outing for JP Sears. Now, that being said, despite going down 1-0 early in the game, when Seattle put up the 1 run, Padres answered with 4. And they got the bats out. It's great to see them swing the bat a little bit more. It's great to see them hit some home runs. But last night, as mentioned, again, the Padres lose 9-6 to the Mariners, despite hitting 4 home runs, something that usually guarantees them a win. They've historically thrived when hitting for power, but this year they've had fewer multi-homer games than any other Major League Baseball team. Even with the power drought, they've still won 74 games and are in strong playoff position, but their lack of consistent slugging does raise some October questions. Fernando last night finally ended a 32-day home run drought, though his power has dipped significantly since mid-May. Manager Mike Schilt praised his plate discipline, but admitted that Tatis rediscovering his power would be huge for the Padres, who still need to, on the rotation side, sort out their rotation. JP Sears' struggles may open the door for Randy Vasquez to come back, while Michael King continues to rehab and won't return immediately. Jackson Merrill is making progress with his ankle. He could return soon. Meanwhile, Jake Cronenworth quietly remains one of the most consistent players in baseball. 5 straight seasons of double-digit homers, plenty of doubles and triples, uncanny knack for getting on base in unusual ways. It's honestly a big reason why I think he should bat last, to flip the order back over. But we'll talk more about that later on in the show. Padres are now 0 for 27 with runners in scoring position across 4 games against the Mariners this season, and their 3-13 record versus Seattle since 2022 is their worst stretch against any opponent in years. I don't know what it is about the Seattle Mariners for the Padres, but for some reason, the Padres cannot beat the Seattle Mariners. I don't get it. Seattle's good. They're not that good. Seattle hasn't been playing good baseball over the last handful of weeks, and we talked about that yesterday. Yet, they got the bats alive. They got things going. They really ambushed JP Sears early in the game. They got after David Morgan and put up 9 runs against the Padres pitching staff. I mean, 0 for 27 with runners in scoring position in 4 games against Seattle is crazy. Maybe it's the stress of the Vedder Cup. Maybe the Vedder Cup is too stressful. I doubt that's the case. The one thing that I really wanted to talk about from last night's game, and again, you can say everything you want about David Morgan. I think that was kind of a blow-up inning. We haven't seen too many of those out of Morgan. He is a rookie pitcher. It is going to happen. It's not great for the Padres, especially when the Dodgers win last night. So now you're a game out of first place. But with JP Sears, we said it yesterday. He's in competition with Nestor Cortez and really Randy Vasquez for a pitching spot. And as of right now, whenever Michael King comes back, JP Sears is probably not going to be on this team. He's probably going to get sent back down to AAA El Paso. Nestor Cortez is making the most of his opportunity to be a left-handed starting pitcher in this rotation. JP Sears, again, is just up and down. So far, he's only pitched well at Petco Park, which is very pitchers-friendly ballpark. Nestor Cortez pitched well on the road and pitched well at home. Did have one bad outing against San Francisco at home. But that being said, he's a number 5 starter. And here's the thing with JP Sears. I think he's kind of a work in progress for the future. I don't necessarily think he is the end-all, be-all for 2025. You needed pitching. You needed starting pitching for next season. You needed guys that could potentially fill a role when you decided to part ways with other starting pitchers, young, controllable starting pitchers, for the players that you have on this team and the players that are making a huge impact. Guys like Freddie Fermin. I mean, you have to give something up to get a guy like Freddie Fermin. They gave up starting pitching of young, controllable players. You can't keep all the best young, controllable players. And again, a lot of those guys that they sent away were kind of big risks. And so you had to get some of those players back. JP Sears is one of those guys. A young, controllable player. I mean, he's not super young, but he's not an older veteran. And he's under control for the next 4 seasons. He's only made 3 starts with the Padres. I mean, he might have. To me, he's a work in progress. To me, he was a work in progress. I mean, he wasn't going to come in and be some ace. And he wasn't going to come in and be some, super legit starting pitcher. He's a number 5 starter. Didn't have it again last night. Again, I think he's a work in progress. Oh, we got a Padres schedule, Frank?
Yep, 2026 schedule just released. So we'll discuss that on the other side of the break.
We do have to discuss that on the other side of the break. Is it seem later than
it
usually
does,
is?
yeah.
It's usually around August.
Usually mid-August, yeah.
I honestly think with the schedule, and we're going to look at it in a second, I honestly think with the schedule, it was more fun when you were trying to figure out what American League teams you were playing and what teams already. I mean, you know who you're going to play now. You know who you're going to play. But then you go through a little bit of the stretches of like, this is going to be really difficult until you realize.
Looking through the schedule, I think you'll be happy with some of the changes that were made.
Oh, nice.
So I think you may not be completely thrilled, but some of the changes that were made, I think, will be accepted.
Where's the All-Star game this year?
All-Star game, I believe that's Philly, I think.
Philly get it for next year? Oh, yeah, I think it is Philly. How about this for an opening day? Maybe. Could it possibly be a World Series rematch? Padres schedule came out. We're going to talk about the 2026 Padres schedule, and we're going to get Frank's opinion of last night's game when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. What a pleasant surprise. Getting the Padres 2026 schedule just released. This is like a segment we do 3 times until the season starts. We'll do it today on a day where it comes out, and then we'll do it randomly during the winter, and then we'll do it right before the season starts. That's kind of the schedule segment is usually that. And then maybe at the beginning of the year, you go through like, oh, this is where we got to get through this. But the schedule got released during our last segment, end of last segment. Okay. There's no surprises in terms of who your opponents are, right? You know you're going to play all the American League teams in a 3-game series. And you know that wherever you played them this year, you're playing the opposite location next year. You know you're going to play all the National League teams home and home. That's also part of the deal. Now, whether or not it's a 7-game season series or a 6-game season series changes. And then you know you're going to play your division 13 times. So you already know kind of what the opponents are going to be. But when they're going to be and kind of random in terms of like, remember that one, what was that, Labor Day? The Padres, was that last year? Where the Padres had, I think it was last year against Detroit. They played they had like 24 games in a row. They had like the max amount of games in a row.
Oh, yeah.
And so they had to play the first game of the series on Labor Day, and then had the next day off because they wanted the games on the holiday.
Yep.
I don't think you have any of those yet. At least I haven't caught any because Frank and I have been scouring through the schedule. So how the schedule plays out, some interesting things. Opening day is March 26th, and the Padres do have opening day here at Petco Park. They're opening up against the Detroit Tigers. That is interesting. Padres against an American League opponent to start the season.
You know
That's
what's
very
even
rare.
more interesting?
We had to take on Tariq Skubal.
Your first day off of the season is a Sunday. It's not a 4-game opener.
No, because it's an American League team.
It's it's not even that it's an American League team. It's a usually opening day is protected with a day off on that Friday just in case it rains on Thursday.
Yeah, for cities that have weather.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that here. So usually when you open up the season, it's a 4-game set. You're off on Sunday to open up the season.
Right. Again, because you don't play the American League 4 times.
The schedule is on their Twitter page, by the way. I.e. Padres fan.
So they go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, off Sunday, March 29th. And then they got the Giants for 3 games here at Petco Park. And it's pretty wild because last year, again, it was a 7-game homestand to start the season off. But if you got the American League team in there, they only get to play 3 games. I'm surprised they're not starting opening day on that Friday then. I guess they want everybody playing on Thursday? That's probably the deal.
But also, has there been any rumblings that the Padres might be playing somewhere else for
I haven't
opening
seen that
day?
yet.
Because if that is the case, that would explain a Sunday travel day, because that's usually if like a team goes to, like, I remember the Mets and Phillies went to London, they had that Sunday off to fly back.
But they only play 2 games in those things.
True.
And these are
right.
There's 3, so you
right, but they have that Sunday off to fly back from wherever they're going.
I just think they have the Sunday off because when you play the American League, it's only 3 games series, and they want everybody to start on Thursday.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Could be it.
A lot of these things with schedules, I think you learn more about the scheduling. Teams put in requests for certain things, and they give up, deals. The best time to have home games is in the summertime when kids are out of school. So most teams like having summer home games. And so the Padres every year, they give up after the All-Star break because of Comic-Con. They give up home games in the middle of July, which means they can get some perks elsewhere, which could be opening up on opening day. So that's a possibility. So they got Detroit and San Francisco to start off the season next year. All home games. Then they go to Boston. They get the Red Sox on April 3rd. They're shipping up to Boston on April 3rd after an off day on Thursday. So your first road trip of the year is to the East Coast. They're going to play Boston and Pittsburgh. Then come back for Colorado and Seattle with a Monday off day. I will say, There seems to be a lot more Thursday games this year than they were in the past.
Yes, I'm noticing that as well.
A lot more Thursday games this year than they were in the past.
Get more Mondays off.
And more Mondays off. I don't mind that. Colorado and Seattle home in April. They got the Halos, the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks. And the thing is about that potential road trip from Anaheim to Colorado to Arizona. Here's another weird one for you, Frank. Did you notice that one?
You're off on Friday, and it's a 2-game set in Arizona.
You're off Monday and Friday, and you only play 2 games in Arizona. Now, they do the 2-game series against with a lot of these division teams, right? Because of 13 games is tough. Like they did that with San Francisco this year, right? So they got the Friday, April 24th off, which is actually my sister's birthday. I digress. But the 20th and the 24th are off. So that week you have a game on Sunday, a game on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, off day Friday, and then 2 games against Arizona on the road before coming back to play the Cubs, and then an off day on Thursday again. Got a lot of rest days in April.
Yeah, it's a lot of off days in April.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off days in April in a month that has 30 days. That's pretty crazy. So that's the month of April. Again, not a lot of world beaters out of the gate. I guess you got to deal with Boston and Chicago, but you're not going to know what these teams look like for a long period of time now. In May, the White Sox come to town. How about that? You have a Chicago homestand.
Yeah.
You got the Cubs and the White Sox coming to town.
And then it's a getaway
to San
series.
Francisco.
Then 4 against St. Louis before you get that Monday off.
So you have 3 at home against Chicago.
6 at home against Chicago.
Yeah, technically. 3 at home against National League Chicago. 3 at home against American League Chicago. A quick trip to the Bay Area, and then back for St. Louis back to San Diego for 4 games against St. Louis. That's kind of crazy, too. Not going to lie. Milwaukee and Seattle's a road trip. Then the Dodgers come to town for the first time of 2026. That would be May 18th to the 20th. Frank noticed
there's some
interesting things about the Dodgers series next year.
You'll get it as we run through the schedule, but there's something that you're gonna like about the Dodgers series, but there's also something you're gonna really be annoyed by the Dodgers series with.
Is that the same with all of the other divisional opponents? I think it is. It's not?
No. I thought Arizona was the same, but it's not. San Francisco is not the same, and
I
Colorado.
meant in the sense of like once a month.
Oh, once a month.
It's kind of once a month. Colorado, you play twice in the month of April, but everybody else is pretty much once a month.
Yeah,
there's not a lot.
More or less. Yeah,
there's not this like back-to-back weekend BS that they had.
You don't play Arizona for a while. You play them the 2 games in April, and then you don't see them again until July
for 4.
But then you get them in August and September.
But again, it's still spread out like a month apart.
Mm-hmm.
I like that way better. I think a lot of teams complain about that. And when I mean teams, I mean team broadcasters. It seems like the team broadcasters complain about that the most. These series, the 2 weeks where you play just the Dodgers and the Giants is kind of ridiculous.
I wish my work schedule would come out a year in advance. There you go.
I like that idea. All right, back to May. All right, so you have 6 games against Chicago, the city of Chicago, 3 against the Cubs and 3 against the White Sox. You fly up to San Francisco. You come back for St. Louis in May. Off day on a Monday again. Again, a lot more off days on Mondays and a lot less on Thursdays. A Milwaukee-Seattle road trip. And then you got a homestand of the Dodgers, Oaklamento, the A's, and Philadelphia with a couple of Thursdays off. And then you finish up May with a trip to our nation's capital to take on the Washington Nationals to finish up May. Memorial Day is May 25th. The Phillies are in town for Memorial Day. That's it for May. Anything about May? Do you have any things to point out about April or May?
More home games in May than road games. You got 12 on the road, 3 days off. Nothing funky as far as days off. So average month.
Okay. Nothing to having LA and Philly in the same homestand is kind of tough.
Well, you'll get done with them pretty quick if you look over to June.
Yeah. In June, after you play Philly at home, you got to go to Philly after you go to DC. So it's DC, Monday off day, Philly, and then back for the New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds. I feel like the Mets and the Reds have been paired together a lot for homestands, but I could be wrong on that. The month of June, you have 4 days off. 3 of them are on a Thursday. So you go at Philadelphia to start off the month after your end of the series against Washington.
Yeah, so Washington travel day, Philly on Monday.
Come home to take on the Mets and the Reds, off day. Then you have a long road trip to Baltimore, St. Louis, and Texas. Texas in June. What a great time.
Well, you got the indoor stadium now.
They got the dome. Then they come home to play Atlanta. Off day Thursday, June 25th. They play the Dodgers the 26th, 27th, and 28th at home for a weekend series. And then they go to Chicago to finish up June and start the first day of July. What do you think about June?
Fair enough. No, fair enough. Even spattering between NL and AL teams. Bravo's here for 3 this year, which is a little bit unique. They've been here for 4 more recently. And you get the Dodgers to end the month.
You have 3 long road trips in here. And the next one's July, the Comic-Con road trip, which you knew about. But they're going to leave probably July 16th. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A 12-day road trip where they play 10 games in July. They have a not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-day road trip in April where they play 8 games. And then they have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-day road trip in June where they play 9 games. So they have 3 very long road trips. One's on the West Coast, which isn't too bad. One's in the middle of the country in Baltimore. And then the other one's the East Coast road trip in the middle of the country. We'll get to that in the month of July. July, you finish off the series against Chicago for the 4th of July weekend on July 1st. And then they're in LA for the 4th of July.
Noticing also no travel days from
Chicago to
here, from here to Chicago, and then from Chicago back to LA. So no travel day there.
It's amazing travel days for the Chicago close enough, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe I would have figured if you're going to split one of those travel days, you're waiting for it. Yeah, because you're probably waiting for Atlanta to get in, or you're waiting for the Dodgers to finish up a 4-game. I don't know. As far as like the Thursdays off.
4th of July weekend. 4th of July is on a Saturday next year. So they'll be in LA Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the 4th of July weekend. They come back home to take on Arizona for 4 straight days, and then Toronto for 3, all at home. You have that's a long stretch without an off day.
Yep, from June 26th all the way to the All-Star break.
Yes, that is how many games? 3, 6, 9.
It's what, 14,
12, 15. 17 days in a row.
Right around there.
You had 17 games in a row with no days off until you get to the All-Star break. Hopefully the Padres don't have any All-Stars next year.
And cross-country travel as well.
Yes, because they got to go to Chicago. Yep. At least they don't have to go to Toronto. All right, that's at the first half. You get to the All-Star break in Philly. And then you start on the East Coast like you normally do, although Kansas City's right smack dab in the middle. So they got the Royals down to Atlanta for 4, down to Miami for 3, fly back Monday, July 27th, or fly back the 26th. Off day the 27th. Then you got the Rockies for 2 games in the middle of the week. They will play the Rockies at home July 28th and 29th, and then start a 4-game home series against the Giants the 30th of July through August 2nd. That's your month of July. Nothing crazy in the month of July.
No.
Except for like all the days in a row. And you got your Comic-Con road trip. August, Giants, Arizona on the road.
For
4. Back to San Diego for Houston and Milwaukee. That's tough.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough little homestand there.
The month of August seems to be, at least on paper, tough for the Padres the last handful of years.
And it's not going to get any better, because then you have Thursday off, you're going to Cleveland, and then you're going to Queens to take on the Mets.
All of the teams listed in August are teams that are expected to be good, at least on paper, with the exception of maybe the Twins and then like the Pirates, but the Pirates still have Paul Skeens.
Yeah, I can't. Well, we're not going to see him anyway, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
we
matter.
never have to see him. So
I can't imagine Cleveland having 2 clunker years back to back. So I think they're going to be a divisional or a wild card contending team without a doubt.
all right, so August again, Cleveland, New York on the road in the middle of the month. Off day Thursday, Minnesota and Pittsburgh at home. Off day Thursday at Tampa, and then at Cincinnati. And then in September, the New York Yankees come to town. Start spreading the news.
No.
Yankees come in September 4th through the 6th, and then Washington follows them. You go to San Francisco and Colorado in September. Miami comes to town. You go to L.A. September 22nd to the 24th. You finish up the season at home against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We got to take a quick break, but what did Frank notice about the Dodgers series on the schedule? Plus, let's be frank with Frank about last night's game on the Braden Surprenant Show. All right, schedules came out for the Padres for 2026. We kind of broke it down last segment. Again, this is you do the schedule thing 3 times. You know, once when it comes out today. You know, once in the off season when it's the middle of the winter and you have nothing to talk about for baseball, you need to go over the Padres schedule, and then you do it right before the season starts. So, Padres schedule is out. If you want to see it, it's on social media. The Padres tweeted it out. I'm sure they have posted it on all of their social media.
Yeah, you can find it in their schedule page as well on MLB. So
right, it's probably all over the place now. So you can go find it. We went through the whole thing real quick, or as quick as we could, finding some quirks that we saw, and there are a lot. But we did notice a couple of things. Frank noticed some stuff about the divisional opponents, specifically the Dodgers. What did Frank find out?
So you notice you get the Dodgers in May for 3.
Mm-hmm.
You get the Dodgers in June for 3. You get the Dodgers in July for 4. And you get them in September for 3. May and June are here. August, July, and September are in LA. So they get done playing here, and then they play all the games remaining in LA. That feels a little to me.
Frank feels cheated.
Yes, it's
Frank's inner New York metropolitan.
No,
is feeling
what is it?
jabbed.
We're talking about the Padres and Dodgers.
I know.
What does the inner
Mets
Met
always
have
get
to do with
Mets
this?
always get screwed.
No,
Guys
it's
thinking
just,
about it.
That's something. I'm sorry. No other divisional opponent has that quirk, and I'm sure it just so happens to be the Padres and Dodgers. It just happened to be that way. But the fact that you get all of the games here done, and then when they matter, all of the games are in LA, that feels a little rough.
Well, the last series of every divisional opponent for the Padres is on the road, with the exception of Arizona.
That is, I didn't even notice that. Yep. And all of them are in September, by the way.
The month of September is all divisional opponents from September 11th, from September 11th through the 27th, with the exception of the Marlins are mixed in there.
Yeah, you have San Francisco on the road, Colorado for 4 on the road. Then it's a homestand for just Miami, day off Monday to go to LA. So you're probably waiting for LA to come back from somewhere. And then it's home for the final series of the season against Arizona.
I like what they did with the divisional opponents. That was kind of my biggest. So I'm gonna say I'm not old man yells at clouds like the afternoon show when it comes to the schedule. I think playing everybody's great. I think that's good for baseball. I think seeing every team roll into town at least once over a 2-year span. I think it's great for Major League Baseball. I think it helps grow the game. You get to see every Major League Baseball player. Theoretically, you have access to do it in your home city, just like the NBA and the NHL and in leagues that you can play every single day. So from that perspective, I love it. Okay. I love playing every American League team. All right. There's really no difference between the leagues now. They're just two basic divisions of a gigantic league. So I like that. I also don't care about playing the division 20 times. I think 13 games each for each division opponent is probably fine. Do you really need to see the Rockies an additional 6 times? Do you really need to see the Rockies 19 times? I mean, those games are just the most stressful, frustrating games anyway. Do you really want more of those? Yes, you have to sacrifice games against the Giants and the Dodgers, which are a little bit more fun for Padres fans, right? Or in baseball in general. But it eliminates... I'd rather play some lousy team in the American League 3 times than play the Rockies 19 times. I would gladly sacrifice 6 games against Colorado to play, I don't know, Oaklamento? Kansas City? I don't mind playing the American League Central, which is the most boring division in all of sports. I'd rather take 3 games against Minnesota than have to play 6 additional games against Colorado. So from that standpoint, again, I like the schedule the way it's played out. What I did not like about the schedule is these weird weeks where you would just go the same opponent for back-to-back weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just went through with the Padres where it was Giants, Dodgers, Giants, Dodgers. I don't like that. Spread the division games out. Play division games like once a month. You can do that with the schedule. So they got San Francisco in March, and in April they got the only time that they go double dip is Colorado in the month of April. And if you want to get rid of Colorado in the month of April, sounds good. I don't.
You also get the Dodgers back-to-back weekends in June and July, the wraparound weekend there. Get the Phillies in May and June, but that's about it. I'm not seeing too many of those, the double-ups.
No.
Looking through this.
You have one double-up with the Dodgers, and that's, and I don't care about the double-ups with the, I don't care about the double-ups with the National League teams that aren't in the division. If you want to knock it out real quick, fine, so be it. You play Philly for 6 times in, almost back-to-back series. Yeah, I don't mind that. But
Tony, you get Boston's home opener actually, which would be April 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Is that that's their opening day?
Yeah, that would be their opening day because they would start the season on the road and then come home for 6. Usually is how that works.
Yeah,
on the road.
Sometimes
for 6
they go back to back too.
Let me see. I'll go to Boston's.
I mean, it might be snowing.
Hold on a second.
So who knows? Faye in the chat wants to know, I thought we only played an American League team once. How come we always have to play Seattle twice? That's because they're their interleague rival.
Yeah, it is the home opener.
It is. Nice.
And it's not protected either, so it's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, because they have the Thursday off day. But is Boston playing on that Thursday?
No.
Maybe
they're traveling back from Houston. Boston opens in Cincinnati, which that's an interesting decision. And then at Houston is where Boston starts their season. Then they welcome San Diego and Milwaukee is their opening series.
So, anyway, what was I going with the the interleague stuff? I mean, yeah, there's one team in the other league, Faye, that you have to play 6 times. For the Padres, it's the Seattle Mariners. It's different for other teams. Most of them are like the crosstown rival, if you will. Kansas City, St. Louis, both New Yorks, Boston, Atlanta seems to be the deal.
Chicago.
LA, Chicago. That's kind of how it works out.
Tampa, Miami.
So that's the Padres 2026 schedule. Is there anything else that sticks out to you? August looks difficult again, as it always does. September looks slightly easier. with the exception of like the Yankees, I guess. But you have your division and you have the Marlins.
Depends on where San Francisco. It depends on how San Francisco and Arizona bounce back. Because I mean, if that's the case, then you really only have to worry about the Yankees and the Dodgers in September, and that's the beginning and end of the month.
I would say it's a pretty tough start to the season.
Yeah, to get Detroit to open up the season and Boston, who's in the playoff fight.
You got Detroit, San Francisco, the division. Even though the Padres have owned San Francisco, they are still a division opponent. And who knows if they're into spending money now because they got Rafael Devers. By the way, they're the worst team since acquiring him, by the way.
But they won the deadline.
They won the deadline. Nothing like winning the deadline before the deadline, and then since acquiring said player having the worst record in Major League Baseball, and the team that you acquired him from having the third best record in Major League Baseball.
But
I thought Buster Posey was great.
Yeah, GM of the year. What happened?
GM of the year. The Giants are going to be so good. What happened? Anyway, you have to deal with them early. Then you got Boston. Then you got Paul Skeens on that Wednesday, apparently.
Yes, no, it's Tuesday, right dead smack in the middle of the series.
There's
so
no way he misses this.
April 7th, we will find out if Paul Skeens is actually dodging the Padres. Because if that is right smack in the middle of the series.
And then you got Colorado and Seattle. I mean, that's a difficult start to the season, I'd have to say. Before a road trip against the Angels, the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks. 2-game series against the Diamondbacks. The opening weekend Sunday off is wild to me, by the way.
Yeah, that is pretty insane.
Pretty insane. We have a couple of minutes. Your reaction to last night's game.
Everything that Nestor Cortez did against the Dodgers, yeah, JP Sears kind of did the opposite of that. Like, it was not a good night for JP Sears, and I think he's kind of labeling himself as the odd man out right now as far as who's going to make the postseason roster and who's not. I think an off season of work with JP Sears would be very, very beneficial to him. Power was there. Great to see home runs. Fernando's first home run since July 24th. 2-run shot, extended the lead in an inning where you hit 2 home runs prior to that. That was nice. I'm assuming now we're going to rip David Morgan the same way we've ripped Wandy Peralta.
Yeah, right.
Because their ERA is virtually identical now. And both of it's because of one bad game. And then a great debut for Will Wagner. Not a major league debut, a team debut. But still, for Will Wagner to spark a little something in the 9th inning. And then this is why what we saw in the 9th inning was exactly why we've been saying we want Luis Arraez to bat in the middle to the bottom of the order. He came up with runners on second and third and did exactly what he was needed to do, which was just put the ball in the outfield. He got I believe it was a sac fly, right?
No, he got a hit. Wagner got a hit and he scored a run.
No, Arraez.
Oh, Arraez. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly why we've said put him deeper in the order. It's because he could do stuff like that. And then you have Manny Machado come up and end the game on 4 pitches. Not great.
It was an Arraez ground out that was scored, but it doesn't matter. Like, you want somebody to put the ball in play with guys in scoring position. Now, that doesn't count as a hit with runners in scoring position because it wasn't a hit, but you're finding a way to drive in a run.
Exactly. And
when you have guys that strike out a lot, there's a high possibility that he strikes out and you don't get to advance the runner. Arraez is great at advancing runners. I don't want that as the 2-hitter. I want that later on in the game or later in the order with multiple guys on base. And if he doesn't bat second, he's got a better chance of doing said things.
And proving our point doesn't make it less true. And that's exactly what the 9th inning did last night. It proved our point. Exactly why he should be hitting 6th, 7th, 5th if you want to get cute.
Yeah, I don't get the second thing. And, he gets treated like he's a core player, even though he's not under contract next year. Do you think, like, maybe the Padres are just thinking about trying to get him back anyway? I mean, I think everyone's just assuming that the Padres aren't going to re-sign him. But the Padres find value in Luis Arraez more than a lot of other teams. I mean, his price might go down in free agency.
I mean,
I'd take him back, but
If
I don't know.
there-
I don't want to give him $15 million. I wouldn't
there
want to pay
was-
him more than what he's getting in arbitration right now.
If there was ever a place that would value what he brings to a team, it's San Diego,
Yes.
because they had it. They had it with Tony Gwynn. They value what he does from an organizational standpoint. The only problem with him is he's not an exceptional defensive player. He's been good. He's been solid. He hasn't cost you any games at first base. He didn't cost you any games at second base, but he's just not that over the top player that you would spend that kind of money on to make your everyday first baseman or everyday second baseman.
The only thing is, like, with this contract, I mean, here's a couple of things that are factors too. And we have an early preview of free agency later on in the show. How much does a deep run in the postseason affect the Padres free agent numbers in terms of money? And what is the price? What is the price of doing business nowadays? Like, I mean, think about some of the contracts that are getting handed out for just average players. I mean, the going rate might be super high. And my biggest argument on this all the time is, like, we can't afford him because he's making $15 million, and everybody values like $15 million a year is like a really above average all-star type player, not a superstar, but like kind of a star. Now it's kind of like an average player level. And if the Padres can't afford average players, they've already spent the money, there's a major problem. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to start to continue to increase.
Daniel in chat, I don't think that Luis Ariz is irrelevant or he might be a little out of place because he's not that exceptional defensive player. There is a spot for him. It just has to be on the right team at the right time in the right situation. He has a very niche spot in this league. He's not irrelevant. He's just very niche.
Yes. I think he does have value. My friends don't think that. They think when I say all these things that he needs to move down the order, that he sucks and he has no place in baseball, because they don't listen.
And that's why you have the show.
That's right. Okay. But I just, again, we value him in a different way than to his assets. His assets are putting the ball in play. He did that last night in a spot where it makes sense. Anyway, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you want to talk about the schedule, you can give us a call. If you want to talk about last night's game, you can give us a call. Padres say they're built for Petco Park and don't need home run power. Is that true? False. We'll talk about it next. Braden Surprenant Show on 97.3 The Fan. We're here from 10 to 2 each and every day. If you haven't done so already and you're watching us on YouTube, feel free to give us a like. We really appreciate that. Might have some cool things coming to the Braden Surprenant Show YouTube page here in the future. A couple more hurdles we had to clear, but I think we're okay with that. If you haven't done so already, we really appreciate it if you did. Subscribe to 97.3 The Fan. We're already up to 8,000 subscribers. 8.29 thousand subscribers on 97.3 The Fan. That was like 7 point something like 2 weeks ago. Hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't done so already, the Braden Surprenant Show has its own page on YouTube at B_SURP. YouTube.com/@B_SURP. Give us a subscription. Hit subscribe. People hear the word subscribe. They go like, what does it cost me? It costs you absolutely nothing. It's just a way for you to have all of our stuff right there on YouTube, whether it be on your apps, on your TVs, smart TVs, wherever you access us on YouTube. If you hit subscribe, it'll just be on your For You stuff. It's easier to find us that way. So I even helped you guys out. And when I mean Frank, he put the links to our Braden Surprenant Show page on YouTube in the description below if you're watching on 97.3 The Fan. The first tab, in fact, is a link to our page where you can subscribe. It's fantastic. Not only that, they have a link to our 97.3 The Fan YouTube page where you can see all of our shows and all the content that we put out. They also have where you can find us on Spotify. They have where you can follow us on social media. All of those links are in the description below. Start clicking on them. Start following us. If you haven't done so already, you can follow the show page on X, B_SURP show, B-SURP show. Or you can follow me, B_SURP. Or you can follow Frank, F Marks with a Z, 324. You can follow those two accounts on all social media platforms. If it doesn't exist, okay, if you don't find it on social media, we don't have those. Those are for all our social media pages. So be sure to follow us on all of those accounts. We really appreciate it. And a shout out to the couple of people that are over on the Braden Surprenant Show page chat right now. It's a separate chat than the one that you see on YouTube on the 97.3 The Fan page. So go ahead and do all of those things. We really appreciate it. Help growing the show in our first year of being on the air. Okay. After all of that, we do want to get to some of your phone calls. The schedule came out today for 2026 for the Padres. Anything else that jumps out to you, we'd love to have your phone call. Or we could talk about last night's game. And as Prolific the Great said, it's free. Don't be a windsock. Subscribe to the show. You don't want to be a windsock. It's terrible to be a windsock. Don't be a windsock. Follow the show. Subscribe to it. Like us on all of your podcast platforms. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can find our audio medium too, because this is all posted in audio form. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get to the phones. Richard in Hillcrest wants to weigh in. What's going on, Richard?
Good morning, guys. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing a lot better than last night's game, I tell you that.
Well, I am too, but I got some great news for myself anyways. Next year, opening day in Boston is my birthday weekend. It's my 60th birthday, and you know I'm going. I'm
that's
definitely
awesome.
going.
Heck yeah, Richard.
I went there last year to see Boston, which is great. I'm going again next year.
I love the city of Boston. I think it's a cool city. I was only there for a very finite amount of time because of the Army-Navy game, and I was pulled in a lot of different directions, but I'm a big history guy, love United States history, so and that's a historic town with a lot of cool things, a lot of great food, great town to go do a road trip for. And that's the other cool thing. And, Richard, I appreciate the phone call. Shout out to you. Happy 60th birthday next season for Padres and Red Sox. Opening day at Fenway. I mean, that's got to be a cool experience for a lot of people. But that's the other thing I love about the new baseball schedule. It gives you opportunities to travel to cities to watch the Padres. I like to travel. I mean, I'm not super relaxed on planes, but I do like to travel. And I like going to different cities. I love traveling with sports teams. I'm going to do that this week with Cathedral. I do it with USD a handful of times. It's always fun, a little business trip. But I like seeing the United States and going to some cool towns and cities that I've heard about. And with the Padres being playing everybody every single year and going to every city every other year, it's pretty cool to have these Padre trips. We did it a couple of years ago. Went to New York to watch the Padres play the Yankees, go check out Yankee Stadium and all that stuff, and the excuse to go to New York City. It was awesome. It was a great trip. I also would love to go to this Boston trip. I might be on that. Who knows? Well out in advance. There's 2 places I want to watch the Padres play that I haven't been to yet. I have been to Wrigley Field, but I haven't seen the Padres play there, and I thought Chicago was awesome. And I wish I could have stayed longer in Chicago, but I couldn't last year. But I have been. I actually watched Adam Klug's Braves in Chicago. They bludgeoned the Cubs when I was there. But the Wrigleyville thing, that was awesome. So I want to see the Padres play there. And they always play them in April. This year, they're not. They're playing end of June, early July. More doable. The other place is Boston and going to Fenway. I've never been to Fenway. I think it'd be cool to watch the Padres play at Fenway. And so now with the schedule, those are 2 cities that the Padres are going to that you could potentially check out on a trip. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Juan in Oceanside. You're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Juan?
What's up, Braden? Just excited for the schedule release. I just saw Dennis Lin report the Diamondbacks and Padres series, the 2-game series, might be in Mexico City. I guess it's unofficial as of now, but that's pretty cool. But more than anything, I wanted to talk about last night's game. I feel like people are kind of overreacting to JP Sears, and why would we pick up a guy who has a 6-pitch mix but is really bad at using it? Trading Leo DeVries, and I understand the concerns, but I feel like with how much time we have with him and Ruben Niebla, I feel like he's a good depth piece to have. He's relatively young. He's under control. I don't really feel like he's a super high risk player to have. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
The thing with JP Sears to me, man, is I said I think he's kind of a work in progress for the Padres. I think he is somebody that they believe that they can turn into a good pitcher. I think they believe with his pitch mix that he could be a everyday, part of the rotation player. And I think from that perspective, there's a reason to try to grab this guy. Now, for a lot of Padres fans at the time, when you see some of the players that were talked about, I think the package given up for Mason Miller and JP Sears seems like it would have fit more for Langoliers because they needed a catcher. But I honestly think all of these trade deadline moves have been great. JP Sears to me is a future move, not a 2025 move. I think it's a future move, not a 2025 move. And we'll see because he's got multiple years of control. Let's see what an offseason does with him working in the Padres organization. Let's see what a full season or full offseason in spring training working with Ruben Niebla does for JP Sears, because you're kind of getting it very, very fast right now. And he's going back and forth from AAA. There's obviously other pitchers that Ruben needs to get right. I mean, there's only so many players. I mean, there's only so many ways that you can pull Ruben in certain directions. So from that perspective, I think a future piece for the Padres. That's what I think that trade move was for. I don't think it's time to just jettison JP Sears. What do you think about JP Sears? To me, I think he's like a project.
Yeah, like I said, I think he would benefit greatly from an offseason here. I think what you're seeing right now is the A's JP Sears. Niebla is right now trying to figure out where he could work and where he can be good and trying to build a program around him right now. But that's an off-season thing. He's going to be here for a couple of years. We know that he was not, I wouldn't say he wasn't expected to be good right now, but you kind of knew this was going to be a long-term deal with him.
I think so too. I mean, again, and then hopefully he gives you a couple more starts to eat up some innings and you get some wins out of it. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Only got a couple minutes, but we got Brandon in Carlsbad to get people fired up. Brandon, what's going on, man?
All right, guys, check this out. We got a couple minutes, all right? Everybody huddle up, all right? We went into LA weekend before last. We're fired up, got swept. Came home, and we almost double swept. What do we have, a 5-game win streak? We lost the final one, then we go in last night. And I understand everyone's plied with Luis Ariz batting at second. Why does that look that way? Why haven't they changed it? Look at his numbers. What are they going to do with him? JP Sears, does he need an off season? I think they're kind of guinea pigging him right now. But we didn't say anything about him when he was that last game he pitched and did very well. What I'm sick and tired of, peanut gallery, is this. We were on a 5-game win streak, man. We know who we are. We know what we can do. The schedule benefits us. We need to stop complaining. We have it. We got it. We got it. Shout out to Kevin Chuvis. I know he sent me some love. Kevin, I wish I had a baseball mind like you, and then Braden, you, and Frank as well. And when I say, real quick to the chat room, when I say guillotines, we need to chop heads off. All right, guys, let's go Padres. Later.
Brandon, that was awesome. He's giving us shout outs. He's getting fired up. Guillotines, chopping heads off. Awesome. He does. He peeks in the chat a little bit. You'll see him pop up in there. That was amazing. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Padres lose to the Mariners last night, but had some takeaways from last night's game and finally saw a little bit of the power. Padres say they're built for Petco Park and don't need home run power to win. Do you buy that, or do October teams need to have some slug to succeed? We're going to talk about that when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. Baseball Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. No NFL this week, but you do have college football.
Boy, do we ever.
You do have college football. You have college football coming up on Thursday. Get excited. Get excited for college football. We got some Aztec topics later on in the show. Do you have any of the actual audio from these, or just you have the quotes?
No, it's just the quotes. They were San Diego State was nice enough to send us transcripts of what happened at the presser yesterday. So
thank you very much. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. We'll talk Aztec football. We're going to talk Aztec football a lot on this show. I feel like growing up, it just seemed like to me that nobody really wanted to talk about Aztec football, like in terms of hosts, so we never did. And so you never got to hear the coverage. I'd like to talk about it. I'd like to get Aztec football going. And every answer I get all the time from people are like, it's a waste of time. Like, don't even waste your time. Why? If they played well, it'd be a little bit different. And the other thing, too, it's like they obviously have to find themselves in a position where they could potentially make a playoff, at least have an eligible spot to do that, is I think the biggest problem for Aztec football to get people engaged. But they start on Thursday. I can't imagine there being a lot of people there, but we'll see. Thursday's got a great slate of college football. Friday's got a great day. And by the way, Saturday, Skylar already sent me a video today about all the best games of the week. There's 8 games on there, and this is guy saying don't anybody call me on Saturday. Nobody text me, nobody call me, nobody call me on Saturday with this slate of games. And she said, I guess these are the games that we have to pick. Saturday's got a great slate of games. I don't know if did I send you that video?
no.
I don't know if I forwarded it along. Saturday, Texas at Ohio State. Alabama at Florida State. The Tiger game. LSU and Clemson. Notre Dame, Miami on Sunday. Tennessee and Syracuse. Auburn and Baylor. That's on Friday. Georgia Tech, Colorado. Virginia Tech, South Carolina. That's all this weekend. All this weekend. It's great. College football, back in action. Aztec Fast. They use different acronyms now for FAST, but we're going to talk more about that in just a little bit. I do want to get back to your phone calls, and then we're going to talk about this power problem for the Padres. Scott in San Diego, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Scott?
Hey, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing well.
Hey, so I got a couple things I'd like to just throw out there. I'm going to say I'm a Schultz fan. I like him, but I feel like he leaves these pitchers in past when they should be pulled, and I think he does it because he doesn't want to bruise their ego. And last night was a perfect example. Left Morgan in too long, and he left the starting pitcher AJ Spiller or whatever his name was.
JP Sears.
Yeah, thanks. And I just feel like he leaves them in, and it's just because of their ego. And the same thing with Suarez and Miller. Like, Suarez should not be our closer anymore. Miller should be our closer. And as far as the power goes, I'm okay with where we're at. I mean, maybe a decade ago, St. Louis did it without any power, but they ran and they bunted and they manufactured runs. So I'm okay with where they're at. I'll get off and listen to your answer to what I got to say. But like I said, I'm also tired of Schultz. Got to stop candy coating everything. Sometimes it's just, hey, we got to do better, instead of candy coating it. So thanks for taking my call, Braden. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Scott. Thank you much. Okay, I don't think it's an ego thing, but you have to manage the locker room, right? You have to manage the clubhouse. Okay? Like, you have to find, you have to manage here's all these new players. We have to establish what the roles are going to be, and we don't want to ruffle any feathers of guys that have already been here. I get that. I understand. Like, that's not easy to do. I think it's too much about the ego thing. Now, just because it doesn't work doesn't mean it's wrong, okay? There's a lot of things. It's all about justifying the move. And I think you get people off your ass. Okay, so we talk about the management of the bullpen, right? Over the weekend, and we talked about it yesterday. We talked about this yesterday. Didn't understand the justification of bringing in Estrada, who hadn't done well against the Dodgers, not only in his career, but also in 2025, who had already pitched the day before and gave up a home run. It didn't make any sense. There was no justification for bringing in Jeremiah Estrada in that particular situation. If they would have brought in David Morgan, okay, David Morgan got shelled last night. He didn't do very well. If they would have brought in David Morgan on Sunday, and David Morgan gives up all the runs, at least in the standpoint of, okay, you can walk through the thought process of Jeremiah Estrada hasn't been good against the Dodgers. We thought we could go with David Morgan. You know, he didn't have it today. It happens. We move on. It makes a lot of sense. So again, even though it didn't work out, it doesn't mean like Mike Shildt is wrong. And with some of these, he's not going to be perfect on making like bullpen moves. Like, no, there's not a single manager out there that's perfect in bullpen moves. Because even when you make all the right decisions in baseball, it doesn't always work out. I would try to pitch the bullpen in a sense of like what part of the order's coming up. But let me ask you this, Frank. You get through 5 innings with your starter. You can use all pitchers are available. Who are you using for the 6th? Who are you using for the 7th? Who are you using for the 8th? Who are you using for the 9th? With no egos involved, just straight pitchers that the Padres have in their bullpen. What is the perfect way to navigate it?
I would say 6th would go Morejon, 7 Adam, Suarez 8, Miller 9.
Okay? That would be the ideal situation on paper, right?
Yes.
Theoretically. I'm sure you can move. Fortunately for the Padres, they can move a lot of things around. But that is this is standard procedure. Like when the Padres had Adams, Gregerson, and Bell, you knew Gregerson was going to be in the 7th. You knew Adams was going to be in the 8th. You knew Bell was going to be in the 9th. In order, was going to be fine. They're getting a win. But even if Mike Shildt stuck to what Frank said and went Morejon in the 6th and went Adam in the 7th and went Suarez in the 8th and went Miller in the 9th and one of them got shelled, even when you push all the correct buttons, it doesn't always work out. And so, like, none of the managers are perfect. It's a hard thing to do is manage a bullpen. It's very difficult to do, managing a bullpen. But it has to be a situation of, like, justifying the decision. And that's where, like, and he doesn't get into the details into the press conference. But when he's in the press conference, honestly, like, how he handles the clubhouse is drastically different than what he does in terms of, like, the media availability. He doesn't need to air anything out in the media. I'm sure all the problems that the Padres fans discuss on social media and get upset about are being discussed in the clubhouse. He's not kissing every player's ass in the clubhouse all the time. But he is protecting him in the media. That's kind of this day and age of sports. You're not going to see a Jim Mora out there like losing his mind in a press conference. Stowers? I think Stowers is good. Chiefs cut his ass last week. That looks pretty damn good for the Saints. You don't get that. You're not getting that anymore. This guy's making a lot of money. There's a lot of ego. There are egos involved, but he's not going to just like throw a guy under the bus in the media. He's going to lose the clubhouse in this day and age. But again, management of the bullpen, even if you do all the right things, still doesn't mean you're going to get great results, especially in a sport of failure like baseball, especially in a sport of failure like baseball. Same with the JP Sears situation, with the, letting him in too long. I mean, a lot of things too. It's like JP Sears giving up runs early, left them in too long. It's like he went 3 2/3 innings. Sometimes you get guys to just eat games. I mean, you see teams punt all the time on games in a series. And again, if you're the Padres right now, even though you lost the Vedder Cup, you win the next 2 games in Seattle, you take 2 out of 3, you're on pace. Assuming the Dodgers don't sweep anybody, you're sticking on pace. So we'll see what happens tonight. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We do need to get to our sports thread in the next segment. We will also talk a little bit more about the Padres offense as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show.
Quinn and Craig.
11:33 on is today Tuesday? Uh-oh.
Yes, it is.
See, you know what? This is why I'm all jacked up. I'm already jacked up for the week because I'm leaving Thursday. I will still be on the radio on Friday. I just will not be physically in the seat. I will be in San Jose. And I got all these things I have to do before I leave. Like tomorrow, I got to buy like the brisket and all that stuff. Thank goodness our show is a little bit earlier, so I can make a Costco run. Tomorrow in the middle of the day, practice getting moved around. I got that. I got something I have to go to Wednesday after practice. A lot of stuff that needs to be done. By the way, I know it's a stressful time of year because I'm so backed up on laundry. I'm running out of clothes to wear. I am running out of clothes to wear. It is taking me way too long to find socks and other stuff that I decided not to fold because I'm lazy. And when I'm busy, it gets worse. My room is a disaster. It is like a hurricane ripped through that thing. I'm trying to find clean clothes. And here's the other thing, too. Like, we have these, we have, as a coaching staff at Cathedral, we have these rules of like what you can and cannot wear to practice and some other things, what you can and cannot do. And if you violate, it's like, kangaroo court. You owe money to the pot, and then we all go collectively and have a party at the end of the season. So it's going to a good cause. But trying to not pay money at practice has been very difficult the last couple of weeks because I'm running out of clothes. And I need to get laundry done, especially before I leave for 3 days. And I got USD starting up again on Saturday, which, by the way, Brandon Moore, head football coach of the USD Toreros, will join us on Thursday, 11:35. Trying to get the other coaches in town on the station, too. Frank's been working on it. There were like 50 emails yesterday about guests this week. Frank's just on it. We got Tyler Heaps tomorrow, right?
Yes, we do.
Sporting director for San Diego FC. Sporting director for the only team that has clinched the playoff spot.
In the MLS.
In the MLS. How about that? How about that? Like, first year on the job. I mean, it took him, a couple of years leading up to it, but first full season, so far, so good. So anyway, my laundry situation is an absolute disaster. I have to do CPR training tonight. In order to coach high school athletics, you have to be CPR certified, which you have to do every 2 years. And so did all the online stuff already, but now you have to do the in-person training too, which is after practice. So I have that today, that, played softball last night, trying to get all this stuff done before I leave on Thursday. And it's obviously a lot of stuff. Hence why I don't know what day it is. It's Tuesday. So I have like one other day to get my life together, I guess. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. By the way, foul on Faye.
He draws the foul.
Who, I don't know when this was, but mentioned in the YouTube chat, wanted to take a selfie with me or us at either remote or something like that and chickened out. Don't do that. I'm very easy to approach. I don't mind talking to people and taking selfies if necessary. I'm not scary of a person. So if you ever see me in public and you want to say hi, go ahead. It's not going to bother me. Foul on Faye. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Ashley in San Marcos. Ashley, what's going on?
Hey, Braden, how are you?
I'm doing well.
I like what the last guy had to say about Shilty, and I love Schilt, but I don't think he's trying to stroke the players' egos. I think he's trying to cover his own butt in some of those post-game interviews. He's been making some, in my opinion, poor choices, especially the Estrada choice was kind of crazy, and everybody knew it. I think he just needs to own up to it a couple times and be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit of that. I think he is a little protective. And here's the thing. Here's where I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Frank's not going to like this. I think, and it's not in this town, I don't think our media members are very much gotcha people. But I think there's a lot of media members that are strictly trying to cut down coaches and athletes and trying to get the gotcha story. I'm not one of those people. I don't care. Okay? I don't really care. That's why I say I'm not a journalist, because I'm not. I'm not a journalist. I'm a broadcaster. Broadcasters are for entertainment. I'm an entertainer. I want to make sure that things are right, and I don't want to spread any false information, make sure everything is good. But I'm not in the breaking news business, unless it's NASCAR, apparently. Then apparently we're in that. But we're not in the breaking news business. And here's the other thing. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. But the problem is, and who knows what it was like for him in other cities, maybe even St. Louis, I could see why coaches now are on the defensive, because a lot of media members, and I don't think our media does this, and I know a lot of them. I know they're not trying to do this. They're just trying to get answers. But you can tell that Mike Schilt has been used to dealing with, if I'm asked this, they're trying to show that I am wrong, which is not the case. Okay, it's not the case. And I think when you feel like people are trying to get you in the, look at this guy, he's wrong, you can get a little defensive about that. And I think when Mike answers some of these questions in the media or on radio talk shows or wherever it may be, he's in defensive mode over us just going like, hey, we don't understand why you do XYZ. I'd like to know from like a clinic standpoint, like, why is this a good idea to do XYZ? We're not saying you're wrong, Mike. We just want to know why that happened to be the case. And then it'd be like, okay, that makes sense. I understand that now. I get that. As a coach of a different sport at a way lower level, there's a lot of decisions that we make as a staff that you have two options and both have catastrophic problems if they go wrong. And you go, I like plan A over plan B for this reason. And then you do plan B or plan A, whatever it was. And all of a sudden it's, okay, this is a disaster. It didn't work out. And you know what? You talk about it post-game, collectively the coaching staff. I still like the decision we made. It didn't happen to work, yada, 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 yada. I could see why he would be a little defensive. And I think a lot of coaches are like that nowadays. And I think a lot of managers are like that nowadays. I think a lot of professional athletes are like that nowadays, because I think it goes both ways. I think the media gets a little bit too on the, let me show how bad this guy is, instead of just asking questions and reporting on the news. There's some give and take there. There are a lot of media members that do that stuff, and it's annoying. And I find them to be embarrassing at press conferences, because I think they ask stupid questions. I think anytime you ask a stupid question to try to make somebody look bad, you look like an idiot. And there's a lot of media members in the national media that do that, and I think they look stupid. I don't think our media members do that. But if he's used to that type of media questioning, he's going to be a little bit more defensive on his answers. I don't know if that clears it up at all. But Ashley, I appreciate the phone call. Let's get out to Joe in Chula Vista. Joe, what's going on, man?
Hey, Braden. Long-time listener. I love your insight. I have a couple of things on the bullpen. I've never been a fan of having designated guys for designated innings. I just think that's ridiculous. I hate it when it started, and it started with a closer where he did nothing but come in the ninth and do 1, 2, 3 in the ninth, and that was it. And what really bothers me is that we have two sets of bullpens. We have two closers, we have two legitimate set of guys, and two guys that can lead in, from the seventh. So if he just wanted to use two sets, here we're going to use Suarez and his team on this day. I have my other team completely fresh for the next day. Now the third day, Suarez team has had a day's rest, so he could work it that way. Or the other thing is, why do they take a reliever out when you're this deep in the bullpen when he's hot? If you got a guy like Morejon comes in and shuts down three guys without any issue and just blows them away, and then he comes out the next inning. When we have so many guys, it wouldn't matter if you pitch him the next inning. Let him pitch 2 1/3. Let him pitch 3 innings. Use him while he's hot. He's going to have as much rest as he needs because of how deep our bullpen is. So I really don't get why they have to, okay, this is his inning, 7th. Oh, wait, this is Adam's inning. It's the 8th. It just seems to me to be a ridiculous premise. and we're not using our bullpen to the maximum potential that we have.
Well, my thing on the bullpen, Joe, and I think you bring up a lot of good points. Here's how I'm not a manager, nor am I a baseball coach. But to me, I think it makes more sense when looking at the Padres bullpen. I would rather have my top guys go against their top guys, regardless of what the inning is. So if the ninth inning, you come into the ninth inning, and they got 7, 8, 9 coming up, right? Or even how about this? Eighth inning, you're going to, and let's just, again, you got to be able to beat the Dodgers. So the eighth inning rolls in, and you got Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman coming up. Are you going to use an eighth inning guy, or are you going to use your best guy in the bullpen? I'd rather use my best guy in the bullpen. What do you think, Frank? Best guy in the bullpen to take on their top three? Or let's make it my eighth inning guy, because he's my eighth inning guy.
No, I do agree. If it is like the Dodgers 1, 2, 3, I would much rather have my best closer, my best pitcher going out there to go out and get them. I honestly, I don't mind Joe's idea of, okay, we've got Mason Miller's duo leading up to him, and then Suarez's duo leading up to him. That's not a bad idea, honestly, the more you sit and think about it.
It's not. But to me, I'd rather have so you think about the Dodgers. Their 1, 2, 3 is 2 lefties in it. Who's the guy that pitches against Ohtani all the time?
Yuki Matsui.
Adrian Morejon, but yeah, Yuki Matsui, I guess. They finally got Matsui on Sunday.
Yeah, they did.
Finally figured him out. It'd be Morejon. So Morejon to me would pitch in the 8th. I don't want to burn him in the 6th or the 7th if, you might have to face the top of the order one more time in the 8th or the 9th. So and I agree with Brock Landers in the chat. I don't think the save always happens in the 9th inning.
No.
I don't think that's the case. All right, we got to take a quick break from this and get to our sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk.
All right, Frank, what do we got going on today? And then on Padres World,
we do have some baseball news that we're going to start with.
Number 1.
Netflix is getting into the baseball business, inking a streaming deal for the 2026 World Baseball Classic. Is there a catch? Of course there's a catch. It's
always
a media
a catch.
deal. The streaming giant is only picking up the rights for Japan.
Okay.
So the World Baseball Classic, which is owned by Major League Baseball via World Baseball Classic Inc., which operates alongside the MLB Players Association and its national teams face off in a classic tournament-style format. The last World Baseball Classic was held 2 years ago with Team Japan facing Team USA in the final. The World Baseball Classic will be the first live event for Japan, expanding the company's live sports market and events business into the new market. Netflix will stream all 47 games live and on demand, promising comprehensive coverage. Fox Sports holds the television rights deal for the U.S., but Netflix only streaming every single World Baseball Classic game in Japan. Does that make a little bit more sense hearing that Netflix is also trying to get the NPB on board for them?
Does it make sense that they're trying to get the NPB and the WBC?
They've been in negotiations for the WBC.
Correct, for Japan.
So making this a Japanese-only deal, are they doing that to try to help their cause with the NPB, or is this just all they could get?
I think they understand that a lot of baseball fans for Major League Baseball watch the Dodgers. And I think a lot of them understand. I think Netflix understands They watch the Dodgers because Japan watches the Dodgers because they have all of these superstars like Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto and everything like that. I think they understand that the fact that Japan loves Major League Baseball is because of Shohei Ohtani. Why not get the media rights to the one team that's going to have Shohei Ohtani in the WBC? I think that's what it's about.
Well, it's not
more
just,
than anything else. I don't think they're really into the MPB as much as they're into Shohei Ohtani.
They're not just streaming Japan's games. They're streaming every single game of the World Baseball Classic, but it's only available in Japan.
Yeah, I still think that's probably. Okay. I still think that's why they're doing it.
Okay, well, that's
I mean, it's a different. It's like, Japan is coming up to being such a big baseball country that it's supplying a lot of the big numbers for Major League Baseball. Why not jump in on Japan early? It's probably not going to cost you nearly as much as trying to get the exclusive rights to the United States broadcast of the WBC. It saves them money, and you know their ratings are going to be through the roof, and you know that Japanese sponsors are going to be spending a ton of money on all of their stuff. They already do it for the Dodgers. I think this is a great idea for Netflix.
Yeah, it's also going to be a great idea for NordVPN as well for people who want to get the subscription. Less than 2 weeks before the 2025 NFL season kicks off, Fox and YouTube TV are in a carriage dispute that threatens a network blackout on the Google-owned service. YouTube TV posted a statement today that said Fox's content, quote, might become unavailable on YouTube TV as early as 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. While Fox remains committed to reaching a fair agreement with Google's YouTube TV, we are disappointed that Google continually exploits its outsized influence by proposing terms that are out of step with the marketplace. That was from Fox. YouTube's statement reads, in part, our current agreement with Fox is approaching its renewal date, and we are in active negotiations to continue carrying their content. You're about to knock Fox off of YouTube TV right before the NFL season, right before Ohio State, Texas.
This happens every year.
I
it
know.
happens every year. It's strategic. They understand. They're strong-arming everybody, and they're like, you better bitch at YouTube TV to get us what we want. Otherwise, you're not going to see all these games. I personally am laughing at this. You want to know why I'm laughing at this, Frank?
Because this happened. TV.
No, because this happened with DirecTV, I think, last year or 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And you know what? All my friends said that at YouTube TV, got to get the streaming. This never happens with streaming. This never happens with streaming. I would never have cable. This is only a cable problem. Ha! Got you. I told you. I keep telling you. I've been saying this for 10 years. Streaming sucks. It's the only cool thing about it was cheaper. It's now turned into cable. You guys all got suckered. I told you guys. I said it. You know, I reserved my gloating and victory lap on the Xander Bogaerts stuff. I have been reserved with that, okay? I will not be reserved with this, okay? I stood strong. I did it in my class at TCU and broadcasting. I've done it with all my buddies. I'm telling you right now, ha! Finally blew up in your guys' face. The streaming people. I said this was coming. You guys got suckered. Got suckered and played. I'm done now.
At least he's humble about it.
Number 3.
Saying this for a while.
A Tennessee man by the name of George Herman Ruth.
Nice.
Has been charged with 91 counts.
91 counts?
Yes,
of
91.
Fraud?
9-1. Yes, in a fraud case, claiming that he used hundreds of dead or retired pro baseball players to make phony claims for payouts in class action lawsuits.
Mm.
The indictment was handed down in the U.S. District Court in Greenville, Tennessee on August 12th. The U.S. Attorney's Office announced late last week. The 69-year-old man from Morristown, Tennessee, is charged with mail fraud, aggravated identity theft, fraudulent use of Social Security numbers, money laundering, making false statements to his probation officer, and possessing firearms after having previously been a convicted felon. George done got himself into a whole mess of trouble here just by his name.
Has Tennessee man overpassed Florida man?
No.
There's a lot of wild stories that come from Tennessee, let me tell you.
There are.
That is some serious. That is, if you would have said Florida man, I would have totally I would have believed this entire story. Not that I don't believe the story, but that is some Florida man level stuff right there.
But Babe Ruth being charged with fraud, that is a headline for the ages.
That is so great.
That's unbelievable headline.
That's why you clicked on that article today. Diamondbacks travel delays. What was that about?
They didn't get into their last city until about 4:00 in the morning.
Welcome to traveling in sports. Happens all the time. Noon lunchtime hour. Are we going to come back with barbecue? We might. You never know. There's barbecue going on here. We're not consuming it yet. Braden Surprenant show rolls on.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
This noon lunchtime hour is brought to you by the Craft Taco, both flavors at 2 locations, Sorrento Valley and inside Balboa Park's Natural History Museum. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We are currently 2 memes right now. These are the 2 memes that we are. I'm going to explain in a second. So, we are doing our company, Odyssey, they have a culture club where we do like team building things, everything like that. We've done a lot of them. Okay. I did the last one because Padres had a day game, so I was off, so I got to do the last one, which was cleaning up the beach over at Fiesta Island. Super cool. But today, they're doing a barbecue. So we have 5 stations here, all with very lovely people. And so they're doing a barbecue during our showtime. Somebody brought a brisket. Somebody brought it. I saw the menu when it got sent out. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I cannot wait. Frank brought me pasta yesterday. It was amazing. 9.6. There you go, Mr. Marchese. That was great. I told you I had to worry about. I got to get back on track eating after Labor Day. Let me tell you that. But we have the Thursdays with the pizza and the barbecue. I'm like, okay, I don't have to. We got barbecue today. They're doing a barbecue. It's great, but they're not doing it in the office. They're doing it outside, and we're on the 6th floor, and it's during our showtime. And so right now, as Frank and I walked to the kitchen to see if there was any food, there was not. Frank, in fact, left the studio, walked around, and he turned into Will Smith from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, walking in the house, going, where is everybody?
I don't even know why I walked all the way over to the kitchen, because as I said, the second I opened the door, I said, wow, this is really quiet for a barbecue being held on the 6th floor.
So we're that meme. And then we realized that it's outside and downstairs, so we are now Squidward looking outside his window and seeing happy SpongeBob and Patrick enjoying some barbecue, which has now incited into the chat the quote from Gus Johnson. You got barbecue back there? You didn't invite me? That's us. We didn't get invited. No. One reason in the chat. Did you guys get invited to this barbecue? No, we did not. We did not get invited.
Well, technically we did. We got invited to a barbecue that we knew and they knew.
That they knew that we could not attend. Therefore, we are not invited. Is that how it works? I think it is. If you don't want somebody to go, you invite them to something to feel nice, to be nice, right? They're just being nice, Frank. But they purposely invite us to something that they know that we cannot attend. We're getting the raw end of the deal here, Frank.
You know what the best part is too? Like
what?
There's on the 6th floor, and I'm sure downstairs as well, there are speakers. That play all of our things.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that play all of our stations that, I did happen to notice that none of them are playing us, so they can't hear us complain. So this way, like with Adam Klug, our wonderful boss downstairs, can't hear us over the outside speaker saying, hey, can you bring something up for us? That would be awesome.
I know.
We can't even do that.
I mean, by the time the elevator gets up here, the break's going to be over. Plus, we don't want to gyp the fans. I know you guys, you don't want to hear any breaks. If we go get a plate, you're going to hear the AT&T commercial just on loop for about 15 minutes. You know what? If we don't get a plate, you'll have about 1,500 people showing up to make us a plate and send it up here to us. And we say we're just going to play the AT&T commercial over and over and over again for like 15 minutes straight. Rod, I'll send Adam Klug smoke signals.
Thanks.
That's hilarious. Foul on the Culture Club.
He draws the foul.
We'll take shifts. I'll go down there, make a plate. We'll let Frank bitch about the Mets for 15 minutes. And then Frank can go get a plate. And then I'll bitch about, I don't know, everything else for 15 minutes. And then we'll come back. So while I'm bitching, you're eating. And while you're bitching, I'm eating. I think we got a good plan here.
Sounds fair to me.
Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, 100 reasons. Hey, Braden, come to my wedding. It's on a weekday at 10 a.m. Hope you can make it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Exactly. People understand. Here's the other thing, too. And I'm not, I don't want our team to cater to me. It's not fair. We seem to have a lot of meetings for Cathedral football in between the hours of 10 and 2. I don't know why. I guess I'm on a need-to-know basis.
You know what the best part is, though? Like, especially with invites like that, my name isn't on the show. So
True.
I can take a day off. I can head down there if I wanted to.
Could.
But I'm a loyal guy.
Well, I appreciate that, Frank. Also, I know how to run all that stuff. So
Yes,
I
you
guess
do.
I could probably do it. Would I like to? Probably
guess.
not.
I guess I could.
One of the guys in the chat, you play that damn AT&T commercial more than twice. I'm moving bleeping cities. That's hilarious. Frank, you're a big asset to the show. You can't leave, dude. Sorry about it. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. That I would consider that an uninvite.
Take the "et" part out of asset, and you got it. You got it nailed.
Okay. What did I tell you, by the way? What did I say last week?
Said a lot of things last week.
What did I say last week? That if the Padres take 2 out of 3, people will get distracted and will not do what? And they didn't do it yesterday or today. You're welcome. Did I not say that?
You did.
Not right, just
too early.
Just too early. Anyway. Call into the show and give a play-by-play of what they have on deck in the barbecue. Barbecue sounds good. I'll be consuming that next Monday.
Dude,
what?
JR is here. Do we just get a really, really long aux cord or something and just take the whole show downstairs?
I think you should get a fishing rod. Throw it out the window and see if, cartoon style, see if you can hook a piece of brisket and reel it back up here.
Oh, no. I caught an Adam Klug off.
Oh, no. A Braves fan. Cut the snap cut.
Darn it.
Oh, my God. Jocelyn, I texted Joe Rosati to bring you some food. Thank you. We're going to have 15 plates arrive from everybody else that our fans, our listeners listen to for the other stations that get to enjoy said meals.
Put the brisket in the basket.
That wins comment of the day, Nate. And you know what? It's a good point by Go Estic. Maybe the barbecue's not very good. Maybe we're actually, maybe it's like the movie Airplane. We're getting blessed by the, was it the fish or something?
Yes.
The fish made everybody sick. It's a great movie. All right, let's get back on track. I wanted to we'll talk about Aztec football in the next segment. I've teased it enough, but the Padres built for Petco Park deal. Okay. Kevin Acee had this in his newsletter. They had the Padres basically say they don't need to worry too much about the slug because they're built for Petco Park and they can find ways to score. And so the question is, can that be true? Can the Padres win in the postseason without being a big home run team? And they hit 4 home runs last night. I think you got to be able to find different ways to score runs. And if you're built for your home ballpark to be able to score runs in a place that's hard to score runs, I think that's kind of great. But they could use a little bit more slug. I think they could use a little bit more slug. I think everybody agrees with that. They're some of the worst in baseball in slugging. But I don't necessarily think they have to lead in home runs or even be top 10 in home runs to win games in the postseason. Pitching and defense wins you games. They can find different ways to score runs, and I think they'll be okay. I don't believe in the whole, it has to be one way. I think there's multiple ways to score runs in Major League Baseball. There's multiple ways to be successful in Major League Baseball from an offense. And the most successful offenses are teams that find different ways to score. Being a gap-to-gap hitting team, dropping down bunts, hitting runs, being aggressive on the base pass with trying to steal bags, hitting the ball over the fence. I mean, you have to create different ways to score runs if you want to be a successful team in Major League Baseball. And here's the deal. You can run into pitchers sometimes, and if you are a all-or-nothing team, like an all-or-nothing home run hitting team, and you run into a good pitcher, you're going to be basically nothing. We've seen that a lot out of playoff baseball teams. Teams that have slugged the whole way, run into a good pitching staff, they don't slug anymore, they're in trouble. I think the Padres are more set up for success in the postseason than they are for success in the regular season. Successful postseason teams right now find ways to score runs, which the Padres, I think, have been doing to an extent. And also, bullpens win in the postseason now. It's not necessarily starting pitchers. Although they help, it's mostly bullpens. And the Padres have a good bullpen, and the Padres find ways to score runs. Now, that being said, if Fernando starts hitting the ball over the fence again, that's a big upgrade to the Padres for the final stretch of the year. But we'll see. We will also see if we get barbecue during the next break. I don't think that's going to be the case, though. Am I going to have to look through the emails to see what I'm missing out on menu-wise? I might have to. But you know what? It is what it is.
If you want to go down there during the break,
I don't want to go down there. I don't want to go all the way down there. And it's just going to be too stressful to kind of get back. And then I'll get back up here, and then I'll be staring at the plate that I can't eat during work. And it's not going to make any sense.
Well, you can.
No, that would be kind of ridiculous. Aztec football starts on Thursday. We're going to talk a little bit about it when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show. All right, update. I don't know which one of you guys called Adam, but he called me during the break. Asked if we wanted food, so it's on its way.
I guess we were, in fact, invited to the barbecue.
No, this is the best. Now you don't have to go to the barbecue. You just get the food.
That's perfect.
I bet you there are a lot of people.
For me.
There's a lot of people like Frank in the chat that want the benefits of going to the barbecue without the social interactions of said barbecue.
Yep.
That's the best of both worlds.
It's heaven for me right now.
Frank, look at Frank's smile. He's ear to ear. We have limited time to actually eat the barbecue.
Yes, we do.
So that's that. Anybody want to hear from Dan Schulman replay interview? So they got brisket, they got pulled pork. I guess they got ribs, maybe. They got pork belly, cornbread, rolls. Adam's like listing the menu. I'm like, dude, just put whatever on a plate. I'll eat whatever you can bring up. Like, do you need barbecue sauce? I'm like, okay, I don't need that much. Anyway. So, yeah. It'd be nice if we had Kraft Taco in here, too.
It would be.
But you got to mix it up sometimes. You got to mix up your look sometimes. I got to go back to Kraft Taco. This week's tough just because to go up there, but Kraft Taco on the way to practice is definitely in play one of these days because today practice got moved up because there's a girls' flag football game. The Lady Dons are playing Mira Mesa today. Apparently that's a big game. I was getting a rundown yesterday from their coach, Ryan Wiegand, who was actually my baseball coach at Cathedral. He coaches the flag football team. And he said like the City League is really good in San Diego.
Okay.
He said like Mira Mesa, OLP, Cathedral. Who else did he say? Mission Bay was good, I guess. Now the best team, like I think they're almost nationally ranked. Classical Academy in Escondido is like one of the best girls flag football teams. They almost never get beat. They got beat by Carlsbad the other day.
You had me fooled on that one.
Carlsbad's good. But here's the thing, like girls flag football,
Bless you.
I don't know if they've added running the ball yet, but it's different. Like when I played flag football at St. Michael's, it was parochial flag football. It was 8-on-8. And you had linemen, like you run the ball, and there was like, it was all the same rule. It was just like 8-man football, basically, with flags. But girls flag football is NFL flag, and so it's like all passing only. Only passing. And then what Classical Academy does, I watched them play it one time. They do it like, it's like rugby. They're just constantly pitching the ball all the time, which makes it obviously very difficult.
Okay, we got to do this. I'm sorry. Go Aztecs in the chat. Imagine Adam comes up with plates. Braden and Frank look at the plates and go, nah, I'm good.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
That would be funny.
As Adam Paul said, Classical Academy is the best team in town, flag football wise. I think Carlsbad beat him the other day, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody's posting their high school game. Yeah. Why don't you just play the John Miller interview on loop while you finish your food? Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
It's an interview from 4 months ago. Enjoy.
Let's talk about Aztec football for a second. I'm not going to go through the quotes. I mean, he gave us some good quotes on facing an FCS opponent, who's a good FCS opponent in Stony Brook on Thursday. Again, They will kick off at what, 7:30?
I believe so, yeah.
7:30 kick on Thursday. So, I mean, I'll be flying to San Jose. Otherwise, are you going?
As far as I know, I will be there. Yes.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything.
Applied for a
otherwise.
credential. You will get a credential. I think my brother's using my parents' tickets. My parents have great tickets. They're not as great as Sushi Sam's tickets.
Oh, here we come.
Sushi Sam's got great tickets.
Here,
But are you gonna let him in with the barbecue? Oh, thank you very much. Look at that. That's phenomenal. How about that? The delivery is great. Wow. We got ribs, we got pulled pork, we got a cookie. Oh, thank you very much. Insane. It does look insane. Oh my God. I'm gonna show it on the YouTube. This is gonna play. This plays. Thank you, Adam Klug, for delivering the barbecue today. Now, this is the worst hell on earth. Now I get to look at this and smell it, and I can't eat it until the segment is over. Way to go, Adam.
It's only about 5 minutes.
Round of applause. Round of applause for Adam
Only
Kluge.
about 5 minutes.
We do need to get that Gus Johnson soundbite into like a sound on our sound.
Yes, I need it from you though, because you have the
like cut it from something
you
else.
I'll
I'll show you how to do it. Okay. All right. What were we talking about? Oh, Aztec football. Okay, so they play Thursday against Stony Brook. Now, here's the thing that's interesting to me. The team and the players, staff, they are promising they're guaranteeing a bowl game. They're guaranteeing a bowl game. And Sean Lewis talked a little bit. He had an interview with Kirk Kenney in the Union Tribune. Talked about his first year at San Diego State, how it fell flat, finished 3-9 after dropping their last 6 games. Offense, which was touted as explosive, never clicked. Fans voiced their frustrations on social media. Lewis admitted the finish was never going to be acceptable, and he said he spent the offseason reevaluating himself and the program. This year, Sean Lewis is focused on leadership, unity, and, quote, we over me. And despite back-to-back losing seasons and missing bowl eligibility, San Diego State players are publicly guaranteeing a bowl berth in 2025, saying the roster, loaded with 13 returning starters, has the talent to win more than 6 games. I believe that's the case as well. I think their over-under's at 4. I think the over-under's at 4. And historically, like San Diego State, and people forget about this, because you think about the last couple of years at Snapdragon Stadium, and I think the big thing was them playing in LA for 2 years, like after COVID, really killed the momentum of Aztec football. But historically, San Diego State still stacks up well in the state of California. Since 2015, the Aztecs have had the best record among California's FBS Division I schools at 79-47. Even ahead of the USC Trojans, which is not overly surprising. They haven't been very good. Season kicks off Thursday night against Stony Brook, who is an FCS opponent. San Diego State their players are guaranteeing a bowl game. I think they will win a bowl game. And let me ask you this. For the Aztec fans out there, I mean, it's since 2015, they've been the best team in California. Does that matter to anybody? Does it matter to you guys out there? I think it should matter a little bit. This might be a turning point for Aztec football. And I'm telling you right now, they have to turn this program around fast, or they will be left behind in college athletics. I mean, they will be left behind in college athletics. Their basketball team, their baseball program, I mean, everything else is going to be left behind unless Aztec football turns things around. And they get to start that on Thursday. And I'm telling you right now, they're not going to blow out Stony Brook. Stony Brook's a good FCS team. They're a solid FCS team. They're going to give power conference teams a challenge too. And with San Diego State coming off a 3-9 season, like it's going to be probably closer than a lot of people would like. But I saw their 2 depth chart come out. I'm looking for the 3-headed monster of a running back core is going to be great, I think, for Aztec football. All 3 of them from San Diego: Lucky Sutton, Byron Caldwell, Christian Washington. They're going to be able to run the football. And they're going to move the ball fast. But you can move the ball fast and not throw. You can run the football. And I think they're going to do that. I think their defense, all coming back from last year, basically all coming back from last year, is huge for Aztec football. But they need to have a good season to save the athletic department of San Diego State in the grand scheme of things. As dire as that sounds, as dramatic as that sounds, it's really the case. Because there's going to be another level of realignment. And just having Aztec basketball is not going to be good enough. They have to get something going with Aztec football. And that starts on Thursday. We'll see what the Aztecs got. I'm telling you, I think it's going to be a lot better of a year. I think they go to a bowl game. I'm believing into the bowl game hype. I will buy the bowl game guarantee. They might have 7 wins this year. I think they could. They got a lot of the tough opponents at home. They don't have to travel to very many tough opponents. I think they have caught up with some teams in the Mountain West. Boise State's going to be tough at home, and Wazoo on the road is going to be tough. But other than that, I think San Diego State can get back to being a solid football program. And I'm excited to see this team play for the first time. We'll talk about that on Friday after they play on Thursday night. But I'm looking forward to Aztec football. I'm also looking forward to eating some of this barbecue during the next break. When we come back, a little bit of a college football preview for you. And we'll get to some Padres deadline impact and how they have done. We'll also get to your phone calls. We do need a contestant for a midday sports standoff. All of that when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. All right. This might be harder than I thought. I got into some of it. But it's hard to eat barbecue fast.
Well, it's also that, and, this is our first chance to eat it. Just got here. And this is the first break we've had today where everybody in the studio decided to have a conversation with us.
They all came back.
While we're all sitting.
They all came back from the barbecue. Yeah. So John Flint from Quezon. Some of you might know him from John and Tammy, right? He comes in. He made the ribs. I haven't gotten to those yet. And he goes, have you had the ribs? I made them. I'm like, no, I haven't had them yet. I'm about to. I know which ads are coming up that we're almost done from the break. And I'm like, I will in a second. It's hard. He's like, I made 6 of those things on a Monday. Who does that? I'm like, I don't know. Somebody makes good ribs. So he's got some baby back ribs here. I had the pork belly burnt ends. Delicious. Pulled pork was good. Brisket was delicious. Didn't get to the cookie yet. There's a Hawaiian roll here. There's some cornbread. I like cornbread's good. I like cornbread. But now I get to look at this for the next segment as we do other stuff.
Only 20 minutes.
Dang it. Anyway, we have a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff we'll get to in a second. We also have a phone call about the bullpen. Let's get out to Gary in Santa. Gary, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking me during the lunch hour. I need you to talk me off the ledge. The last 2 games, our starters have left the game in a tie game. And if my advanced math is correct, in the last 2 games, our bullpen, which is number 1 in the world, has given up 13 runs. Is this an anomaly, or are these guys tired, or is this just a freaky thing? What's going on?
Well, I do think it's a little bit of an anomaly. I mean, I think the decision to bring in Estrada was not a great one. So I don't really blame the bullpen for that sense. I think that was a bad decision by the Padres to bring in Jeremiah Estrada. I think that's a mistake on that in a big game against the Dodgers. And then last night, David Morgan's in his rookie season, and he hadn't really had any blow-up innings. And last night was kind of his first blow-up inning. Real first blow-up inning at the major league level. So, considering that, I would say it's an anomaly. Now, if it was... And out of the 4 horsemen in the back, Jeremiah Estrada was the only guy that wasn't an all-star out of the 5 bullpen pieces, right? I mean, Mason Miller wasn't an all-star this year, but he has been an all-star in the past. The guy throws 104 miles an hour. He's one of the best closers in baseball. So if it was Miller getting tagged, or Suarez getting tagged, or Adam, or Morahone, or all 4 of them, I would say might be a little bit of a problem. You have to look into it. But that isn't the case. It's David Morgan, the rookie, and it was Jeremiah Estrada against a team that has done very, very well against him all season long and in his career. So from that standpoint, I'm not worried about the bullpen. I think the bullpen will be fine. I think the bullpen will have a bounce back today if necessary. Padres get ready for the Mariners game 2 of the 3-game series. Dylan Cease on the hill against Luis Castillo. Game will start at 6:40. Equal Water SoCal Padres pregame show at 5:40. Now, back to Aztec football. And they will start their 2025 campaign on Thursday. And a big thing for college football, but mostly San Diego State college football, because there is a specific, is trying to get San Diego involved with college football. It has been a chore to try to do that. And that hasn't always been the case. In the 90s, they were really, Marshall Faulk and everything like that, they'd fill the stadium. And by the way, we were talking about this last night. One of our friend, our ketchup on tacos friend, Crumb, he worked the game when San Diego State played Stanford at Qualcomm Stadium. It was packed, and they beat a ranked Stanford team at home. They have had support in the past. It's not like nobody's ever supported Aztec football. But some of the reasons about Aztec football of why people don't go seems to have a lot of the same reasons for why people don't go to other things in town, like minor league things, right? One of the big reasons is there's no direct path to a national championship for San Diego State. Not that they're not good enough to win one. It is, even if they are good enough to potentially win one, there's no guarantee that them just going undefeated would get them into a playoff spot to potentially win a national championship. Aztec basketball, as good as they've been and as bad as they've been in their history, bad before Steve Fisher showed up, great ever since. At least with Aztec basketball, and why a lot of people jumped in on Aztec basketball, wasn't just because they've been good, but they have a path to a national championship. And you saw them take said path not too long ago. They ripped off a long run in March Madness in the NCAA tournament, made it to the national championship game. That is never going to be the case for Aztec football because there's no path for them to get there. So in the meantime, they have to find a way to be good enough to get other conferences involved, or other conferences to be like, hey, we really could use San Diego State, because they're going to do another line of realignment here. And they can't get left in the cold. As much as they want to buy into the Pac-12, remember, the P stands for power, Frank. Their football program is the key to them surviving in college athletics. And here's what I'm talking about. There was an article today on ESPN about teams already on the bubble for the playoff for the season even starts. And they go through what we learned a year ago from the college football playoff. And this is why I like the 24-team level tournament where every conference winner gets into the dance. And I think if that was the case, I think a lot of people would be more interested in Aztec football. But that's not the case yet. They're still working those guidelines out. The greedy conferences are continuing to try to be greedy and keep everything for themselves. But you look at who made the college football playoff last year and what happened. Margin of victory matters, whether the committee admits it or not. Indiana's soft schedule and blowout wins last year highlighted how dominating weak opponents can still push teams up in the rankings. That could impact schools like BYU or North Carolina this year. Idle teams get punished. South Carolina beat Clemson, eventual ACC champions, but because they didn't play on championship weekend, they actually dropped in the final college football playoff rankings, which is also stupid. Bad early losses can be forgiven. I think only if you're certain teams and you have certain brands. Like Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois last year. Nobody punished them for that. They still made the title game after running the table. Danger zone at number 11 and 12. Even with a 12-team format, teams at those spots can be bumped for a lower-ranked conference champion, as Alabama learned last season. Early season showdowns are everything. Boise State, South Florida this weekend. Notre Dame, Miami. Oklahoma, Michigan. Florida, LSU. Florida, Texas. These games will make or break playoff resumes before October. And the last one, and here's the one that affects San Diego State, Group of 5 schools must be perfect. Boise State, Tulane, Memphis, Navy, and Liberty are all fighting uphill battles against weak schedules. Liberty especially may need to go undefeated just to have a chance. And I would rope San Diego State in that category. They're not a power conference team. Even when they join the Pac, whatever, they still won't be a power conference team. They're going to have to go undefeated. And if your school has to go undefeated to potentially make it to the next level or make it to the playoff, that's hard to get people to buy in to anything that your games, like anything that you're, anything about your team on the season, if you know that it's not going to matter. I mean, you see what, the way that people watch games. I mean, playing for a bowl game is cool for San Diego State. That's not going to draw people to Snapdragon Stadium. If San Diego State goes 7-5 and makes a bowl game, are they going to get more people to go to their game next year? I don't think so. They have to have a path to win a championship. That's what people in San Diego care about. The MLS has had a good following. The MLS, San Diego FC has a path to win a championship. It's a major sport. That's why they got a ton of people at their games. Just like the Padres. Just like Aztec basketball. They have a path to win a championship at a major level. That's what people care about. That and making it the place to be. San Diego State needs to work on that a little bit, but also there's a lot of things out of their control. At least starting off by winning and winning some games will at least point people in the right direction for Aztec football. They got the stadium now. They got to get the product on the field. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. It's time to get to our midday sports standoff.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, it's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
All right, today we have David in San Carlos. David, how you doing today, bud?
Hi, guys. How you doing today?
Good, good. All right, so
well.
we're going to get back to the normal game today. We did a little bit differently yesterday, but today we'll get back to normal. Today's topic, there are 4 players who are currently active in Major League Baseball that lead a franchise in home runs all time. Not necessarily the team that they're on, but a team. They are a team's franchise home run leader. Right, David?
Got it.
All right, so you have the first guess.
Okay, let's see.
There's no way I'm going to
Go with
who is it?
Oh, I can't think of the name right off the top of my head.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, it took a little too long there, bud.
Manny Machado.
Manny is one.
Currently, it's the Padres.
Yes.
Franchise.
David.
Shoot.
Two of the 3 play on their current team, are on the team that they lead the franchise on right now.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I think Braden's out of guesses as well here. So
Pete
maybe
Alonso.
or not.
I got one more guess on my sleeve.
All right, so David, you need this one here.
Let's see. Sabrina Olsen?
No, unfortunately not. And that is 3 strikes. David. Braden, who else you got?
Mike Trout?
And there's 1 left.
This is the guy that's not currently on his team.
Correct.
My guess would be like Giancarlo Stanton.
From the guy who whispered,
I had no idea. There's like,
I'm not
no
winning
way
this
I'm gonna
one
get
today. Gets all 4 in 4. So, Pete Alonso, currently leading the New York Mets franchise in home runs.
I was on the fence about Salvador Perez, but I'm like, I don't think that's the case.
Mike Trout leading the Angels, Stanton leading the Marlins, and Manny leading your San Diego Padres.
I'm not good with the stat ones. That's why I was like, there's no way.
And then rips all 4 of them right off.
Get all
Good
4
job.
of them. Yep. You start to think, and you're like, okay, well, this team's got, Pete Alonso's hit a lot of home runs for the Mets. And actually, I did remember recently that was like a big
just
thing.
did it 2 weeks ago.
He just did it. And then I thought about Judge, and I'm like, it's not going to be Judge because the Yankees have a lot of home runs. Judge ain't there yet. And I was like, well, Stanton hit a lot of home runs in Miami. And they're not very good. And then I honestly thought Salvador Perez would be the guy just because of like the Cal Raleigh situation, but not the case. And then I forgot that Mike Trout exists.
I forgot that Mike Trout existed.
I did.
That's honestly not the wildest statement from the...
I forget he exists a lot. I mean, the Angels are so irrelevant, and he's been hurt. I forget he exists sometimes.
That's honestly not the wildest statement that has come out of just this week.
What was more wild than that?
Oh, the post game that I sent you with the Marlins.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That was insane.
Yeah,
you know what? I gotta play it for you guys here. We got a couple minutes here.
You have the video.
I'm getting it now.
Okay. It's a great time to tell everybody that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged.
Good for them.
Is she going to be Taylor Kelce?
Or
is he going to be Travis Swift?
Or as Awful Announcing put it, NFL podcaster engages recent guest.
Okay.
Which was fantastic.
That's pretty funny. I mean, Adam Schefter posting it with a graphic is hilarious. On the day of hundreds of NFL transactions, the biggest one of all, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged.
Oh, for God's sake.
Come on, Schefter. You need help over there? What's going on?
I'm trying. It was a TikTok. I'm trying to. Trying to find the actual. Trying to find the actual thing here.
We had our players during the game wear these vests, like the heart monitor ones or whatever. Like that also tracks like your speed and everything. Honor Falave, who has like 30-something offers. He ripped off an 80-yard touchdown on Friday night. He hit 22 miles an hour.
Yes, she showed me that.
On the touchdown run.
All right, I got
22 miles an hour is insane.
That's it. That's mental.
High school kid. All right.
This is from the Marlins Radio Network interviewing Tyler Phillips, who went viral for slapping himself coming out of the bullpen. So here's his post-game interview from the other night.
All right.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. Tyler, you threw 32 pitches yesterday. When did you know you were going in tonight?
When they call down.
And you were ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. They call down, I'm pissed off, I'm ready to go.
Why do you get so pissed off?
I don't like hitters.
How did you get through that 9?
Throw the ball over the plate.
How long does it take you to cool down after a win?
I never cool down.
And the slapping, what was the level of slapping when you came on?
Pretty hard. My face is hot. Yeah.
How important was it for your team to get this win today?
It's big. I mean, every win's big. It doesn't matter what the record is. Every win's big. That's what we're here for. It's to try to win the game.
What has this organization helped you unlock for your career this year?
I think just be yourself. Go out there, do what's you. Whatever's going to make you successful, that's what you do. And this team, I see it. We're a lot of young guys, and when you play for each other, have some fun with it, that's what you got to do.
Great win. You're scaring me. Go to the clubhouse. Thank you very much.
Great win. You're scaring me. Go to the clubhouse is certainly one of the ways to end an interview of all time.
He sounded like he was playing Fast Money on Family Feud.
Yes.
It's literally what he sounded like he was doing. He's playing Fast Money in a post-game interview.
You're scaring me. Go to the clubhouse.
I just saw a terrible meme on Twitter.
Uh-oh.
It's Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, like, lovey-dovey. Looks like an engagement photo.
Of course. Right? I'm getting sick.
It says Mike Schilt over Travis Kelce. And it says...
Yes, I saw that one.
Luisa Rise batting second on Taylor Swift. I've tried so hard not to bust out laughing. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Mike Schilt, Travis Kelce. Luisa Rise batting second, Taylor Swift. I need a breather. I'm about to explode. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Classic. 1 hour to go. Braden Surprenant Show.
We're slowly digesting
This is why.
As we begin the 1 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we were about to listen to an entire Blink-182 song. For a second. This is why eating during the it cannot be done.
It can be. Anything can be done. It's just a
Not
matter of whether or not it's going to be good.
Not that it can't be done. It shouldn't be done. Eating during a radio talk show is like trying to steal the Declaration of Independence. It shouldn't be done. And now it can't be done. Not that it shouldn't be done. It physically can't be done. I get this all the time. I will go. I don't eat during the show. Hardly ever. Because in this business, I can't eat while I work. It's not possible. It's not a possible thing to do. It's impossible. Just sounds like I have marbles in my mouth. It doesn't sound great. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? And you hear me like swallowing and stuff. Okay? So like, it can't be done. And so with my busy schedule, and I don't eat breakfast, I usually have coffee. I don't eat like my first meal until when football season, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Not even then, like 5:30. Like I'm just having dinner. My family and my friends are like, you shouldn't even eat more. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. I just don't have. Well, why don't you eat like during your breaks? 4-minute break. First of all, I'm a slow eater. It's very difficult to do. 4 minutes, try to scarf something down, especially food like barbecue. By the way, I had the ribs. John Flint's ribs are great. Okay, they're great. Good stuff. That's what I was trying to smack down. The cornbread was delicious. I haven't had the cookie yet. Pork belly burnt ends were good. The brisket's been solid. Anyway, we're locked in now. Ready to go. Yeah, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got engaged. Apparently that's everything that everybody else is talking about. We mentioned it briefly. This is a big talking point. I saw that. I'm seeing all these memes now, and like my Twitter feed's all about it. ESPN tweeted out that Taylor Swift's subreddit was shocked Adam Schefter broke the news to them. From that subreddit. I can't believe the Taylor Swift engagement news was broken to me by ESPN senior NFL insider Adam Schefter. Who else would break the
Who's
news?
on screen right now, as a matter of fact, on ESPN too.
You think he's talking about cuts, or do you think he's talking about...
He's talking about Spencer Rattler being named the starting quarterback for the Saints.
It looks like the Saints are going to win a game.
Good for him.
Bad for the Saints. If someone told me 3 years ago the way I'd find out about Taylor Swift getting engaged was from an ESPN notification, I would have thought they were insane.
That's fair.
That is fair.
That one's fair.
All caps. I'm not going to scream it. Maybe I should.
Please don't.
All right, now I definitely want to do that. I can't believe I learned this information from an ESPN breaking news alert. Oh, my God. Yep. Yes, you did.
You see, here's the thing. People say, I can't believe I learned it this way. I'm saying that's really the biggest thing going on in sports right now, that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are getting engaged, that I needed a push notification for that.
I was told by our guy Double D. People know who that is.
Ed?
No.
Double D?
Not that Double D.
Oh.
A different Double D. A lot of people in town know who Double D is. Double D's got a lot of connections in town. He says his office right now is broken because everybody's just talking about Taylor Swift getting engaged.
Cool.
I don't think anybody in this building has talked about it one time.
No.
How does that affect Travis Kelce's fantasy aspects?
It's not really much of a fantasy anymore.
Okay. Foul on Frank.
What? What did I do?
He draws the foul.
Too far. Not much of a fantasy anymore. Get them. Come on.
Shall we talk about what's going on in Padres Twitter land, where now we're trying to start the conversation that Yuki Matsui is a better pitcher than Shohei Ohtani?
Excuse me?
Do we do that?
I think we've already said our insane things of the week. Thank you very little. All right. Let's dive back into this.
I mean, you look at the stats.
Shut up. Just stop. I'm not entertaining this. I did think I did think the Taylor Swift engagement photo deal with Travis Kelce with the Mike Schilt and the Luis Ariz batting second was hilarious. That is top notch. That is top notch.
It's called quality entertainment on a Tuesday.
You know, I know you hate this app, and I hate it too. There's a lot of good stuff on this app too. I mean, every once in a while they keep it coming back for more.
I want to get rid of
golf.
I want to get rid of Twitter so bad, but I can't because of stuff like that. I just can't do it.
I want to get rid of playing golf because of all the miserable times I have playing golf. But then it's that one shot that keeps it coming back for more. That is basically Twitter/X in a nutshell. All of this BS, all of this toxic, and then you get a meme that knocks your socks off, and you're like, okay, I'll keep it.
God, I hate you for making me like this app again.
There's been some good ones today.
And then you scroll down and it's ruined again.
Yep. Did you send me one? Oh, no. It's time to start a conversation with the Yuki Matsui Shohei Ohtani thing. Let's not do this. Let's not do this.
Sarcasm hour.
No, we do we have any? I mean, we
do have stuff planned for this hour, by the way.
We still only have one Twitch watcher, and it's Go Aztecs. And if you start talking about, if we do another sarcastic hour, he's punting on the show. He's punting on the show. Okay. How can the National League West be won? Well, at this point, now you got to outdo the Dodgers by 2 games to finish the season.
Well, you know.
You're off to a rough start on that. But AJ Cassavell laid out how the West could be won in the National League West. Okay? Based on the stipulations, based on the way things are setting up, with the Padres and Dodgers tied atop the National League West standings with 31 games left. That was going into yesterday. Padres off to a not so great start, going 0-1, and the Dodgers going 1-0. Dodgers do hold the tiebreaker, so they're technically 1.5 games up. San Diego must finish ahead of the Dodgers if they want to win the division. Here are the 4 things that AJ Cassavell has alluded to that will help the Padres win the division. Number 1, score early. Their elite bullpen, deepest in baseball, locks games down if they lead after 5. This is I'm going to tell you right now, this is an even more important reason, I think, why Luis Ariz should bat lower in the order. We've talked about the situations, right? That we want to see Luis Ariz up. We want to see Luis Ariz up with guys on base. He can't physically do that in his first at-bat if he's batting second. He can't do that unless Fernando gets like a triple or a double. And even then, with just one guy on, Luis Ariz is not as scary as he would be with multiple guys on. I want to see Luis Ariz come up with multiple guys on base. Bat him lower in the order because you got to score early. You don't have to wait for the later innings for that to happen. Starting pitching length. Padres need quality starts to avoid overusing their high leverage relievers. That's more for a playoff thing, but I agree. Keep them healthy going into October, especially during a brutal 19 games in 20 days stretch, which is upcoming right now for the Padres. Power key number 3 for players down the stretch, clubhouse vibes. Deadline trades brought in players who meshed immediately, keeping energy high. Yes, they have. We'll talk more about that in the next segment. And number 4, the schedule is very favorable. Padres face mostly non-contenders in September, 10 games versus the Rockies and the White Sox, and they're 49-24 versus sub-500 teams this year. If San Diego takes care of business, they could grab their first division title since 2006. And it asks the question, it asks 2 questions. Number 1, what do you think about AJ Cassavell's 4 keys to the Padres down the stretch? I think those are all 4 major keys, major key alert, for the Padres down the stretch. Score early, I think, is very important. Getting starting pitching in the 6th inning. Obviously, the team meshing together, which I think has already been established. I don't think they need to worry about number 3 anymore. And I think they got to play off the favorable schedule. But scoring early and getting starting pitching length, even though that seems like a very large key for most baseball games, I think it's extra important when you have the bullpen that the Padres have.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said yesterday, the fact that you were able to get 6 innings out of all 3 of your starters over the weekend to help save that bullpen was absolutely massive, because you're not going to have starters going 6 innings or expected to go 6 innings during the playoffs. So you need to have those bullpen arms ready to go. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to give them days off, especially right now, especially when you have the weakest schedule in Major League Baseball for this last month of the year. That is a big thing that the Padres have to capitalize on. And as far as scoring early goes, that takes more pressure off the pitchers. Score big early takes even more pressure off of that pitching staff to allow them to be able to go deeper into these games. Some of the Padres have not done quite a bit lately is score first and score early. They really need to start getting in on that.
And a bigger reason why Arise batting second is asinine. Is that right there? I don't know how many more times I have to continue to say it or lay it out for you, but it makes it even more asinine. You know what else is asinine? Something the Pirates did today. We're going to talk about that. Plus, did AJ Preller finally get it right? What are we talking about? We'll discuss later on. Braden Surprenant Show continues. All right. Couple things we got to get to. By the way, we did the midday sports standoff today. And wasn't a great showing. But if it was a good showing, and you're able to take me down in sports trivia, you would be qualified for a grand prize. A 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas plus VIP admission to AYU Day Club and $175 food and beverage credit. Celebrate summer with a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. Dine poolside at one of the 5 unique pool experiences in the 5.5 acres pool complex, largest elevated pool deck on the Las Vegas Strip, and experience AYU Day Club, a stunning oasis inspired by the islands of Southeast Asia, where the ultimate party concepts transform the weekend into a never-ending summer. Special summer rates available now at rwlasvegas.com, now offering no resort fees and complimentary parking. I want to get back to your phone calls as well. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We are going to talk about some Padres topics of did AJ Preller finally get it right here in a second. But first we go to the phones. Chad in Mission Valley, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How are you?
I'm doing well, man.
It's been a while.
Yes.
It's been a long week.
What do you got for us?
I just wanted to say, by the way, like, big call on the Tatis home run last night. I heard that. Good for you.
Thank you.
Very right about that. I just wanted to bring up kind of what you were saying earlier. Look, I think Arise should not be batting second anymore. But I do think that with our history of having these clubhouse guys that are so popular with everybody, I just feel like with the price he could possibly be at, we shouldn't let that one go again, like a Ha-Seong Kim or a Profar, you know? I feel like he meshes probably the best in San Diego. And I feel like for how much success he's had with his batting titles and everything, like to be swapped so much is kind of unfortunate. I hope he finds a landing spot. So I just wanted to agree with you guys on that from earlier.
Appreciate the phone call, man. Thank you very much, Chad. I just find, like, again, we keep talking about it. Score early. Score a lot early. The best way to do that, to me, is having Arise lower in the lineup. Everything keeps pointing to him being lower in the lineup. Do we think he's going to be lower in the lineup today, Frank?
No.
I was at practice yesterday. Frank texts me and goes, do you want to guess who's batting second today? And
you
I
never
said,
did
no,
guess.
because I already saw. I didn't need to guess. I knew exactly who's batting second. We don't even really need to see the lineups anymore. O'Hearn and Sheets have been inserted in the lineup now almost every single day.
Good.
Maybe we're making progress here, Frank. They've been inserted in the lineup almost every single day. And then we know that Arise is going to be 2. We know Fernando's going to lead off. We know Arise is going to be 2. The really only big question is who's getting the day off in the field and who's DHing. That's basically it. I mean, they've gone with pretty much the same lineup for the last month, or at least since they acquired some of these players. Now, Laureano moves all over the place. I don't know why he's not, batting higher in the order. You know what? I got this yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Adam's son came up with a good lineup.
Okay.
He wrote it down. What do we think about this? Fernando batting leadoff, playing right field.
Mm-hmm.
Ramon Laureano batting second, playing left field.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan O'Hearn batting third at first base. Interesting. Manny Machado batting cleanup at third. Gavin Sheets batting 5, DHing. Jackson Merrill, if healthy, batting 6th and in center field. Xander Bogaerts batting 7th and at shortstop. Jake Cronenworth batting 8th at second base. Freddie Fermin batting 9th and catching. Nick Pivetta on the mound. Now, for like the Diaz catches Pivetta.
I don't mind that.
That's a pretty good lineup.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
Adam's son is 8. It's great. What a great lineup. I don't know if I could come up with a lineup like that at 8 years old.
Yeah, right.
I could dig it. I mean, you probably have to switch Machado to O'Hearn, but I don't mind the righty-righty, lefty-righty at the top. Everything's taken care of. Got some pop in there in the middle of the order. You start it back up with Merrill. Your bottom of the order is Merrill, Bogaerts, Cronenworth, and Fermin. I mean, come on. That's production all up and down the lineup.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I don't mind that.
The downside is Luis Ariz is not in the lineup. Now, okay.
Well,
I don't, I
know.
probably have Ariz still play. Okay. And Ariz would be playing in this particular instance. I mean, if you have Ariz in there instead of Sheets, and Sheets is the guy coming off the bench, I don't mind it. Because you could have Ariz bet 5 or 6. Just saying. It's not, I don't get the lineup construction. Now, let's look at the Padres lineup from basically every day for the last month. So you don't even have to guess. Who's the starter? Who are they pitching today? Castillo, he's a righty.
Yes, Luis Castillo is going to.
I mean, tonight's lineup's going to be the exact same as last night almost. I'd be shocked if it wasn't.
Luis M. Castillo. Sorry.
Yeah, because there's multiple Luis Castillos. Are they both on the Mariners?
I don't know.
I can't remember that. I know they were talking about it for a while. All right, so Fernando bats leadoff. Ariz will bat second. Machado will bat third. I don't think that's ever going to change. It might change slightly for the playoffs, but as of right now, I don't think that's changing. I think O'Hearn probably bats cleanup. Bogarts will probably bat fifth. Okay. I could see Laureano or Sheets batting sixth. Sheets is hitting the ball well again. He probably bats 6. Laureano 7. Cronenworth 8. For me 9. I mean, that's basically going to be your lineup again tonight. That was last night's lineup. That will be the lineup tonight unless somebody gets the day off or the positions change because somebody gets a day off their legs. That's been basically the same lineup for the last handful of weeks. Finally got some slug last night, but your highest OPS player on the team is Ramon Laureano. He's got the highest OPS on the season. He's batting .297 with a .902 OPS. He's batting 7th. Look, I continue to say it's a good blessing to have some of those guys at the bottom of the order. But you would think the guy with the best batting average on the team and the best OPS should probably bat, I don't know, somewhere in the top 4? Am I being unfair here?
No.
I feel like that needs to be the case. I don't know why he continues to bat him 7th. It doesn't make any sense. When you're looking for slug, when you're looking for offense early. I mean, we're just going off of what AJ Cassavell laid out as the 4 things that need to happen for the Padres to win the division. Padres are already basically in a playoff spot unless they catastrophically collapse, which I don't think will be the case. So if you're playing for a division in which you're neck and neck with LA, and these are the 4 things that are going to help you get to a division title: scoring early, good starting pitching, vibes in the clubhouse in terms of guys knowing their role, which I think is already the case, and a favorable schedule, you got to shift up the lineup a little bit, Frank.
Ryan O'Hearn, it actually sounds like, was just on MLB Network Radio. Basically just talking about the upcoming 30-game stretch to close out this season, if you would like to hear that.
I would like to hear that. You want to hear that when we come back, or you want to hear it right now?
No, we can hear it right now.
All right.
Still got a couple minutes.
Here's Ryan O'Hearn talking on MLB Network Radio earlier today.
Oh, it's awesome. And, you can just tell how much they love the team and how much they are invested. We played the Giants on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday series, and it was 3 sellouts. And I was like, all right, this is a little different than I'm used to. But what a cool atmosphere and what a cool place to play. And they're smart baseball fans too. Like, they don't, you don't need a video board that says make some noise for them to get loud. Like, they know when to get loud, and they, man on first and second, there's a ground ball at the shortstop. They already know the double play is happening. They get loud. It's a really cool atmosphere to be a part of, for sure.
Yeah, Petco Park is a different breed. Those fans are so into it, and I love the rivalry that's been almost renewed the last couple of years. And for you to step in the thick of that is exciting. So, what's it been like to dive deep into a playoff race where you guys aren't just competing for a wild card spot, but you're trying to win the West?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, what a cool opportunity for me to be a part of a team like this. Obviously everybody wants to play meaningful baseball late into the season. it's fun when you're on a team that's, just so stacked. There's guys up and down the lineup and up and down the pitching staff. The bullpen's obviously ridiculous, and it's fun to go to battle with a group like this when the expectations are high and we feel like we can do something special. And I haven't been here all year, but pretty cool for me to be able to jump in and kind of offer my services and be a part of this in as many ways as I possibly can.
That's Ryan O'Hearn talking on MLB Network Radio about what it's like playing in San Diego, playing in front of the Friar faithful, and being part of this team. There's something about that I want to mention when we come back because we got to get to a break. But, Ryan O'Hearn was hoping to be traded somewhere else. Kind of cool that he talked about the Padres fans like that. We'll discuss when we come back. This hour, 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Islands Restaurants. Islands Restaurants, summer refreshment, paradise, ambient, and ambiance. I'll start that over.
English are hard, but it's okay.
It's Tuesday. Got that right this time.
Yeah, you did. It's baby steps.
This hour 97 The Fan is brought to you by Islands Restaurants. Islands Restaurants, summer refreshment, paradise, ambiance, and the best burgers in town. Like the Big Wave with cheese and fresh cut fries, $10 now for a limited time only. Visit one for our Islands Restaurants throughout Southern California today. Dine in only. Their cheese fries are pretty good. I don't even know if they still have those. I love ambient music too. Yeah, well, it happens. We used to go there when I was doing Little League All-Stars. And I was the 12U one. We would always go out to dinner after games. And we went to Islands a couple times, get like plates of cheese fries. Bunch of 12-year-old kids. It was great. I can't tell you last time I was at Islands.
There's one.
There's one in Mira Mesa.
There's an Islands burger place right down the street from me. I don't know if it's the same place or not.
If it says Islands, yes. Does it look like a Castaway setting?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're definitely in the right spot.
Islands Burgers.
Oh, you know what? No, I was at Islands during the basketball season. I went to the Islands in Newport, Irvine area before the UCI-UCSD game.
Ah.
Where was I driving from? I was working. What was I working? I worked some event. Oh no. Was that the? I can't remember. I was working some USD event and then met my friends at the game. Is what I did. And they were getting dinner at Islands. Last time I was there. About to check it out. I know there's one in Carmel Mountain. That's where Gwen and Chris were. A couple Fridays ago.
We got a lot of baseball moves coming in.
Like what? Like this Andrew Heaney one?
Yeah, the Andrew Heaney one.
What a joke, by the way. What a joke.
The Guardians have placed Carlos Santana on waivers.
This is the waiver period to try to get guys off. Because remember,
Nathan Eovaldi's getting shut down.
You have to be on some. You have to be on the 40-man roster by August 31st if you want to be playoff eligible. Here's your waiver guys. Even though they don't have a waiver trade deadline spot, here's all your waiver moves. So you throw them out there to see if anybody's going to pick them up.
Joe
So who
Tom
else?
coming up for the Mets. Pitching prospect. There's been a lot going on, but this you're very right to be annoyed with this Andrew Heaney one. This is ridiculous.
All right, so Andrew Heaney this year with the Pirates signed a 1-year, $5.25 million contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates. As a free agent, he signed this deal in February. He was given performance bonuses. If Andrew Heaney this season threw 120 innings, he got $50,000. If he threw 130 innings, he'd get $100,000 on top of the $50,000 he got for the 120. And he'd get an additional $150,000 for 140 innings pitched, 150 innings pitched, 160 innings pitched, and 170 innings pitched. 150 each. It's a significant amount of change. He got waived today by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Andrew Heaney this year, you ready for this? I think you guys know where this is going. Andrew Heaney this year is 5-10 with a 5.39 ERA and has thrown, drum roll please.
Hold
Do you have the sound of it?
I know where it is. I know there's one. There's one somewhere. I can't find it.
Drum roll for the drum roll.
He draws the foul.
Oh, well, there it is. Now I got it.
Andrew Heaney this season has thrown 120 in the third innings pitched.
That's good, right?
He got the 50K, I guess. And then they were like, see you later. We aren't going to pay anything more. He got designated for assignment today. Somebody on that potential post goes, you circled the wrong thing. He's got a 5.39 ERA. Bro, it's the Pirates. They don't care. At least he got the extra $50K. But anyway, doesn't get the money now. Got DFA'd. Now, if he does get picked up by a team through waivers, like they take on his contract, which means they'd have to pay the incentive bonuses. Take that for what it's worth. I still think that's kind of a bad DFA right there.
Awful.
And it honestly leads to this is what it leads to for me. It leads to, why in the world is Paul Skeens ever going to sign with the Pirates? Why would anybody sign with the Pirates? Seriously, why would anybody in their right mind sign with the Pittsburgh Pirates? There is no reason to do that. They never pay out on bonuses. I would never say never. I mean, obviously, they probably have done it in the past. Can't cast a broad statement there. But why would you ever sign a contract extension with the Pirates or sign as a free agent long-term with the Pirates? They have two guys right now under contract for a long period of time. It's Mitch Keller, who's a free agent in 2029, and it's Brian Reynolds, who's a free agent until 2030. Or sorry, who's under contract until 2030, and he has a 2031 club option, which you know they're not going to take at $20 million. After that, everybody's a free agent after this year. In terms of like the guys under contract, right? Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, free agent. Andrew McCutchen, free agent. Tommy Pham, free agent. Tim Meza, free agent. Some of their young players, obviously under arbitration for a long time. Do you think any of those guys are getting offered a deal? I mean, Brian Hayes did. They already shipped him out of town. They did it during the deadline. Why in the world would Paul Skeens ever sign a contract with Pittsburgh? I would even listen to Pittsburgh if I was Paul Skeens. I'd be like, get me out of here now. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. At least get something out of it. I do not want to sign here. Why would anybody want to sign there? I mean, money talks, but at the same time, it's like, think about all the players they already shipped off. You're going to be on a team that doesn't want to pay incentives. That's a team that doesn't want to spend money. They're a team that makes a ton of money on the year and doesn't use any of it for their players. Remember that article that came out earlier this season?
Mm-hmm.
Pirates are the biggest abusers of collecting a check from the competitive balance text. They get a big check for the competitive balance tax. So all the other teams in baseball that are over the luxury tax that are paying that money are shipping them to the Pittsburgh Pirates that just pocket the money. Why would anybody sign there? I don't understand. They're going to be somebody that definitely votes against the salary cap if it means the salary floor. They don't want to spend money. They're making tons of money right now. They don't have to be good. It's like Colorado. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Will in Oceanside, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Will?
Not much. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. What do you got for me?
Well, I heard you. I heard you earlier talking about you think we should move Laureano higher up in the lineup, and I kind of like what he's doing, and I don't really want to mess up a good thing, But I think things are different with a healthy Jackson Merrill in the lineup. And I can see that we're trying to set in motion, a wrecking crew lineup, maybe to spark things, bring them, lower, like second or third in the lineup. But I kind of think that it's an anomaly last night. I kind of think that they're going to regroup, have a meeting, get fired up, and go back to, what they were doing before. I'll take your comment off the air.
Well, last night, yeah. I mean, I think last night was kind of a fluke of a game. I mean, did anybody see the ball that rolled down the first baseline and kicked off the base? I mean, that's the epitome of the game last night, was that right there. Sometimes it's just not your night. I've talked about lineup construction so much. And it's good to have, you want good players down at the bottom of your order. That means your lineup is lengthy. But you don't want your current best statistical hitter down there. You want guys like Jake Cronenworth down there and Freddie Fermin and Luis Arraez. I mean, that's what you're looking for. But Ramon Laureano right now, especially with Jackson Merrill not in the lineup, get him higher in the order. He's got the highest OPS on the team and the highest batting average on the team. Get him higher in the order. Go S6 in the chat says that the Pirates did the same thing with Rowdy Tellez last year. I think I remember that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Such a joke, dude. Just pay the incentives.
No,
Remember, that's the
nothing's going to change with that franchise until it's sold.
100%. They got
nothing will change.
There's going to be a lot of teams up for sale. There's going to be a lot of teams up for sale. I mean, Tampa sounds like they want to sell. I don't know what the Angels are doing. They've dangled the carrot about selling Artie Moreno.
There were a couple of teams that were interested in selling, but they've seen how much that some of these other organizations have gone for recently, and they've pulled back. Like, I think the Twins were one of them that were up for sale that said, you know what? I think we're going to stick with this a little bit longer because of how much money these teams are getting.
Or maybe the fact that maybe they're not getting what they want in the overall sale. But I mean, if you're making money on the, it's like real estate, right? I mean, you're collecting all the money on the rent, and you're making good money on rent. Why would you sell the property that's giving you passive income?
Yeah, but if it's also going to make you $3 or $4 billion now, but in a couple of years, it's going to make you $5 to $6 billion. That's a reason to wait.
The value of franchises are always going to go up, I think.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And that's not really logical finance thinking, but I mean, you look like the S&P 500, that thing's continually gone up for a long time. I mean, it's with inflation, everything like that, it's going to go up. The values of these organizations. That's why, like, when people say it's like not lucrative to own a team, it's like, no, it's lucrative to own and hold on to a team and then resell said team. That's where you make all your money. Liquid assets, okay, probably not the best during the time, but you're using it. It's an investment. You're investing into your product. It's making it worth more, right? It's a asset that appreciates. So yeah, it's costing you like millions of dollars. Like when they do the capital calls with the ownership groups, right, that own these teams to get better players, those guys want to get their money back, but they're getting it back in value of the franchise, you know, because the value of the franchise is going up. So when everybody threw in like $20 million in the ownership group to get, you know, a couple extra players to the Padres, they're investing in their product. They're investing in their asset that they have. It's a big reason why Petco Park gets a lot of upgrades. I think the Padres do a great job investing in their product. And every time you see a story like the Pittsburgh Pirates today, think about how blessed we are to have the ownership group that the Padres have.
Yeah.
They want to win, and they invest money into the winning. They raise the ticket prices to match the money. We keep answering the call. They keep putting together a good product. And it's a win-win. So I like it. Could be a lot worse. You want the owner of your team to run the team like it's his yacht, like it's a toy. You don't want the owner of your team to run the team as in it's his only source of income. The A's, the Pirates, the Rockies, all of these teams that are not like that. Same thing with like the Chargers. All of Spanos' money is in the selling of the Chargers, not the liquid assets of the Chargers. Which I did find it funny. We didn't really want to talk about this, but was it Khan in the chat?
I believe
earlier
so,
today. It's getting inundated with ticket requests from the Chargers. Somebody please buy our tickets. Look at this great stadium that we rent. If they're actively pushing for tickets this close to the season with the team that they have a good coach. They have a good roster. They have a franchise quarterback. They play in a brand new stadium. Like there's nothing else they can do to sell their team even more than they've already done, and they still can't get anybody to buy tickets. What a disaster they have been. It's hilarious to watch. I enjoy watching it. Absolutely. I definitely enjoy watching it. All right. We have a shorter show tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
With a 1:10 Padre game. 12:10 Equal Water SoCal pregame show tomorrow. You, Darvish, and Brian Wu. So we'll be very quick tomorrow. We also have Tyler Heaps coming on tomorrow, correct?
11 o'clock.
At 11 o'clock, sporting director of San Diego FC. Talking about his now newly clinched San Diego FC ball club. A San Diego FC team is the only MLS team to have clinched a playoff spot with a handful of games to go. We'll talk to Tyler Heaps tomorrow. Coming up on Thursday, we have Brandon Moore, USD football head coach, will join us on Thursday. They have a good game. They have a big game on Saturday. So if you're into college football, you got Aztec football on Thursday at Snapdragon Stadium, and you got a pretty good FCS game on Saturday at USD at 5 o'clock when the Toreros host Cal Poly, a team that the Toreros beat last year in what was a pretty big game. I mean, anytime USD beats a Big Sky school, it's a pretty big deal. San Diego plays Division I non-scholarship football. I mean, think about the talent level that they get some really good players for being a non-scholarship football team. And they're projected to win the Pioneer League. So, good news for USD. I think they'll be able to do it. Last year, they lost on a game-winning field goal to Drake. The year before that, they lost on a Hail Mary touchdown to Drake. Drake's got him in the last 2 years. They're going to play Drake later in the year in San Diego. But they start their season on Saturday, and we will have Brandon Moore on. Do you want to get to the phone calls? Martin loves to call us near the end of the show. And it's always great to put Martin. It's always great to put Martin in. Always gives us in high spirits. Martin, what's going on, man?
Gentlemen, it's another good show. And Braden and Frank, just the sheer diversity of what you speak to with the knowledge that each of you bring each day is just, it's great for San Diego. It's great for the listeners. I love to listen. You're the only show that I really focus on in my day. You know, I have yoga in the morning. I catch it a few minutes before I start. I pick it up as soon as I get done. And then it's like we go from Chargers to Aztecs to USD to Cathedral. By the way, congratulations on the opening victory.
Thank you.
Frank, I've accepted the uncle role, but grudgingly.
We say that with love, Martin.
Thank you. But anyway, the Aztecs for me, I think they've got to earn it for me. Ex-offensive lineman, it was unwatchable last year. So this year, if they show me something Thursday, I'll get on board. But I got to see those big 6'8", 330-pound monsters not get penalties. They score 45 or more points, and they look like the Aztecs of old. Hate to say it like that, but anyway, good stuff. And Braden, one last thing. Lote, my friend, go off on. I mean, you were the Bogarts moving position this year. Thank goodness. The dude is good. You've said it. You've promoted it. You've loved it and lived it, and keep doing it. Arise again. I don't bring takes, and that's just the way I am. I listen. I enjoy entertainment, local San Diego, and appreciate both of you for taking the calls that you do. So thank you again, Frank and Braden, for what you bring to local radio.
Well, thank you, Martin, for enjoying our show.
Thanks,
appreciate
Uncle
it.
Martin.
One guy in the chat is proving our point. Arise is the best average with runners in scoring position in history since the 70s. Why shouldn't he hit second? He should hit when there's more guys on base as early as possible. If you're trying to score runs early, right? Trying to score runs early and get runs in early. Wouldn't you want to set up your lineup where that guy's coming up with multiple guys on base, not just one person on base? And if that one person gets a single, he's not going to be in scoring position?
Brother, proving our point doesn't make it less true.
That guy realized he just proved our point? It's the point we're trying to make. Anyway, he's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. Another fun show. And we'll talk to you guys for a shortened show tomorrow. Gwen and Chris coming up next.